Futures back to the downside right now. We are trying to get back to break even on the morning overall ahead of a ton of important economic releases to come this morning. Coming up at 8:30, we'll get two, possibly even three versions of non-farm payroll with the ADP number to come as well. We'll also get retail sales all at 8:30. Again, they're still working through the backlog of data that goes back to the government shutdown. So these are all going to be delayed reports, and that comes, of course, ahead of CPI coming up on Thursday. So an important week here for the economic side of things. Overall, the market kind of muted to start things off here, as I mentioned, trying to get back to essentially where we ended the day yesterday after giving back that early gap to the upside yesterday morning. Trying to hold on to a little bit of support here if you zoom out. Some key levels to deal with. So non-farm payroll is coming up at 8:30. 50,000 jobs expected on the most recent number. They are expecting the unemployment rate to stay steady as well at 4.4%. Wages to cool slightly. Downside miss strengthens the argument, obviously, for another rate cut potentially going into the new year. As it stands right now, they're not going to do anything in January. They might not even do anything all the way through to March. So a lot to look forward to this morning. Stay with us coming up at 8:30 for that. We have AI stories abundant this morning as well, once again. Nvidia not really doing a heck of a lot this morning, but it was trying to lead yesterday about midday, I guess it was. We got a nice bounce in this group in general, and it was Nvidia that showed most of the strength. But I mean, Oracle back on watch here, Broadcom on the list this morning. I mean, some strength here and there, but overall, it's a wait and see kind of a morning, I think.
Yeah, Brendo, we'll get the AI trade really under pressure after the Broadcom earnings that we saw last week. It's been, it's been possibly, buy the dip, but we'll wait to see on that. There's a whole lot to talk about today, guys. Tesla with a fantastic day yesterday, really rising up ahead of most of the Mag 7 names as a result of the autonomous vehicles that we saw on the road of Austin now without a driver. Nvidia picking up this Shed MD to deepen its AI software mode in addition to CUDA and the likes. Amazon with a new tie-up with a fintech provider, and Ford, Brendo, ditching their EV ambitions that they espoused under the Biden administration, and MSOS. Weed in general, President Trump coming out yesterday and basically confirming that he is looking to change that vis-a-vis EO. Obviously not the legalization, that's got to go through Congress, but a good look nonetheless. The
interesting part of that is this is definitely not the first time or even the third or fourth time that we've gone down this road with legalization or the reclassification, I guess. Right. So we'll see if this is the time that it actually comes to fruition for some of these weed stocks. But yeah, huge bounce for MSOS again. Yesterday, here's PayPal, just kind of chopping around here on a daily chart around 61.80 as well. Applying for a U.S. bank charter. We were going back to, I think it was probably the beginning of the year, March, April time of the year. We were sitting here wondering if the days of PayPal were behind us because of the many different competitors and options on the payment side of things. But banking seems a little bit left field for them.
It should be interesting to see. I'd like to see what's behind the story, what's the driving force. But we always talk about PayPal with having that huge 400 million users that they can dip into, Prendo. We saw, when Apple released or Apple made a tie-up with Amazon and with others vis-a-vis Apple Pay, PayPal sold off aggressively because everybody viewed it through that microscope. I guess they're trying to change their remote, maybe looking to diversify here. Widely speculated, Brendo, that they're going to try to be offering brokerage services as a result, and then the tokenization of equities, and then the tokenization of privately held companies, which everybody seems to be salivating over these last few days. So an interesting story, and up nicely here, 1 3/4.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say their first product might be a prediction market type of product. Or
good
PayPal,
call.
but we'll see. Speaking of banks, maybe this is why they want to get into the banking field. The banking group in general looks somewhat like this. This is just Citigroup. I mean, this is a daily chart, straight to the upside for the past 2.5 months here. Wells Fargo, at the end of the day yesterday, was among the better off. Did come back in, it looks like, right at the close, but was among the better off on the intraday time frame yesterday. But banks very strong. PayPal wants to be one. Obi's in for Neil. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Obi, glad to have you in today. How was yesterday? What did you trade yesterday?
Yesterday, I think I traded some AVGO.
Oh, okay. Oh, Broadcom, okay.
And then Tesla. Did you see Tesla's crazy imbalance into the close?
No, I didn't see it.
billion.
Yeah, oh yeah, ripped up.
$1 billion, and then paired off, flipped, slammed back down.
Yeah. We actually watched that one. We had Tesla early yesterday, but welcome and glad to have Obi here with us today as we watch Bitcoin make a little bit of a bounce back to 87,000 there. There are, of course, many stocks on watch today.
Oh.
So we're really excited for that. As Brendan mentioned there, we've got the bank stocks going through again. And then what a data dump that we're expecting here today, non-farm. I actually just, it's on our watch list. It looks absolutely crazy. So I actually just put out a little, if you guys want to follow, our watch is just completely free. But right into here, these are all the labor market ones. These are all the retail, and here's the PMI. So they're all coming out, man. They're all starting at 8:30. So if you wanted to get an idea of what's supposed to be coming through here today, it's the most amount of, largest amount of data that I've seen in a heck of a long time. This is what I think you guys should, here, I don't want to bring up my whole, check out our watch list every day. You'll see right here, look what this looks like. These are all the economic events coming to 8:30, 8:30, 8:30, 8:30, 8:30, 8:30, 8:30, 9:45, 9:45, 10. There's a lot going on here today, and we're excited. Ooh, thank you, Randy. Is breakfast here already? Oh, okay. We'll see. Yeah, Shashuka, I saw that. Yeah.
Okay.
Ever since there's been a request for no more carb-based breakfasts. Yeah, so they bring, I didn't mind the peanut butter and the bread, but the problem is by the time it gets here, it's either hard or soggy, depending on how it was transported. So shashuka, he said over there. So the egg with a little bit of like tomato sauce based salsa type stuff. But anyways, yeah, so yesterday Tesla was a monster. We had that trade, and as they get back up to basically all-time highs. I think we had an all-time record close yesterday. We talked about the highest we'd ever gotten to was 488, but closing around that 480 marker. A little down today, though. But yeah, the market was, I think it's just going to be waiting for all these numbers. I mean, here's the Nasdaq right now dripping down a little bit. Google 308. Tesla's right now today 472. So a little bit of a dip down there. There's where we closed into yesterday, and there's that sort of reversal of that imbalance. It's funny that you mentioned that because I was like, oh, wait up for 355, and it's going to hit that reverse. But there it is, man. There's yesterday's close, like 481 we got up to around yesterday for Tesla. What a great opportunity it's been to trade this robotics ever since we had that release a couple weeks ago, Obi, where President Trump came and they were, buying more, applying more to the robotics trade. They were talking about AI. There's a couple different ETFs that you can get. We saw Rich Tech Robotic. And then yesterday, did you see iRobot?
Yeah. That's a little crazy.
Yeah, so that was a $6 or $7 stock 2 weeks ago, and everybody was robot crazy. And then they came out and said, like, our Roomba sort of swept up all the profits, and now they're all gone. And now iRobot, as of yesterday, was hovering around that $1. Oh, now there it is.
$1.50, yeah.
So finally, I didn't know. I didn't even realize it broke. Actually, it must have came close to breaking right there. Actually, it was right at past 4 o'clock. Actually, Obi, we closed yesterday around this $1.20 marker, which was like okay. And now you're underneath $1. So there goes iRobot. I didn't even notice this today, down 21%. I'm getting a little bit of a frog in my throat here. I feel like, but there goes iRobot, nicely cooking. To the downside. Anything on your radar early here?
Funny enough, about the iRobot, was it just over a year ago that Amazon tried to buy them off?
Oh yeah, way more than it was way more than a year ago. It was for $61.
Yeah, how crazy is that? And it's just like I was thinking about this. Like, did they? If I was iRobot, I'd be like, yo, FTC, come on. How you gotta?
Yeah, that's what I said yesterday to Neil. I was like, is it not time for someone to buy them out now?
I think someone has. I think they said one of their Chinese suppliers have bought them out. But it seems like it's headed for a straight beeline to zero, really cleaning up all the longs on the way down.
Yeah, they swept all the longs under the rug there.
Yeah, definitely.
They got rugged.
I mean, it makes sense because, like, I don't know if have you tried the Roomba versus some of the other products?
We have a Roomba. I have.
So some of these other ones for the same price point. Yeah. Do so much of a better job and have so many more advanced.
What are the names of the other ones?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
But you know what I mean?
No, but that's the thing. They've cornered the market, but maybe they're not producing as well. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We have an iRobot. We have a Roomba there. We don't really. How did that just fall there? Did I hit it? I didn't
think so. Yeah.
No? Okay.
No, but in terms of what I'm watching, I think it's pretty relevant over the past past couple of weeks, where you know, tech is kind of showing some weakness out of place. This is just SMH. This is an hourly chart on SMH. You can see this prior high that we made in October earlier on in the year. We've attempted to push that once again, looking like a little bit of double toppy action. Sure, we're still in that uptrend, but a little bit of relative weakness compared to some other sectors here in the chips. So I think we're taking a little bit of a breather going into the end of the year. It's not like we're going to run up all year, right? So yeah, maybe some profit taking going into the end of the year.
I asked Sharif, and he almost nailed it. How much do you think Amazon is up this year?
Oh, I know exactly. It's testing its year open.
Yeah, it's 1%.
Yeah. It's testing its year open.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that. Microsoft's up 13%. Amazon's up 1%. I think Google's obviously up a lot. There, we just looked at Tesla's just now. I mean, Tesla had a little bit of a bad take because of where it was at Jan 1st, but Tesla's up about 10% now. And then you know what I was looking at? It's funny because today we got news about Ford, right? Ford finally scrapping their EV plans. They're taking a $19.5 billion write-down spread out over the next couple quarters. They're completely getting rid of the F-150 EV, and they're going to long-range hybrid models, which I think is absolutely an amazing thing to do. Like, I was thinking about this myself, like, we have the Tesla and then the wife wants the Rivian, but I don't think I really want two EV cars. It's just, it's a little stressful sometimes thinking about like, oh, when's the, for me, I'm lucky because we can come here and charge it up. But I was just thinking like, if I didn't have the charging here, you'd for sure have to install something in your house that would give you a little bit more amperage, because the plug-in into your house is like, you basically get like 100 kilometers or so a night if I charge it, which is still fine, you know, driving around the city. But for longer trips and stuff like that, I really think the EV hybrid model is worth it. You know, it's going to be great on highways, things like that, and then you can also rely on, you know, the old-fashioned filling up your tank to make sure you can get to the spot you need to get to. But you guys have any EV vehicles?
So here's the thing. So we've recently done a few renovations around the house. So I made it a thing. I was like, okay, well, you got to get a charger in the garage. Right. So we got a whole separate line. You're right. You have to do like a whole
whole
separate line. We don't have an EV yet, but you know.
So are you guys putting in an electric, like a new?
The charger is there.
Oh, it's there now.
The connection for the charger is there.
Oh,
so
good,
like the outlet specific, maybe not, because I got to figure out which one.
Yep.
But yeah.
I just think that they didn't. I think Ford, by doing this, they finally decided like that. A lot of the construction, like whoever the base is for EV, for the F-150s, they're just not down right now for that whole 100% EV look. You know, you don't want to be on that construction site. You need some power, and you only have like 10% left. You got to charge that thing up, you know. So, but anyways, the reason why we asked about, you know, Amazon up 1%. Everybody wants to own Amazon, you know. Some of these names, Microsoft.
That's the 12-month chart. So
Amazon's been.
That's the open. We're testing the open. Look at that doji, man.
12-month chart.
A little bit of an indecision on the year on Amazon.
You're hilarious with 12-month charts. But right into here, yeah, this is, no, you're 100, I mean, that's what we're talking about. So Ford actually this year up almost 40%. So it's just a straight line. But if you go back, you know, like Ford, if you say it's up 40%, well, it's only not even at last 2 summers ago highs, right? So it is very, very dependent on when you take that. But there's Randy. Hey, what's up, Randy? Hey. Too bad we don't have a mic for you, or I'd ask you about Ford. It doesn't work, apparently. This is just a prop. This is a prop. Testing.
It's not working. All right.
Anybody can super chat a little bit more. We need to get a real working mic over here at some point. But no, what do you guys think in the back there? I mean, well, I guess we're going to get over on Ford talk right there. No, I know that Sharif, Brendan probably have some opinions over here. So I think it's good. I think you want a corporate pivot, right? I mean, I think it takes, I don't want to say it takes like, you know, that sort of guts to do that, but to scrap something completely, basically admit that you just lost $20 billion, you know, figuring this stuff out. You're scrapping it completely, and you're pivoting. I think that's, I actually show respect to Jim Farley there for doing that kind of a thing instead of just going down with it, you know? So up 2% today, market down. I like Ford. right now, and let's see what winds up happening moving forward here with Ford. Thoughts about this in the back there, guys?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, to be expected, I guess. I mean, that's a huge number, 19.5 billion to just eat entirely on this. I mean, the market saying the outcome would have been worse than that if they had continued down this road. So I guess net a positive. I mean, I would never have bought one anyway, so.
No, I personally, no, I wouldn't, not from Ford, but Jim Farley, the CEO, he was making the great point, Brendo, these $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 EVs just have such a small market, it makes absolutely no sense to allocate that kind of capital to something that has such low demand. But they're a product of the political environment, Brendo. Let's just call a spade a spade. The previous administration, and much like the administrations in Europe, were pushing the new energy or the new vehicle kind of a standard where they wanted to phase out gas cars by 2030, 2035, really depending on where you were looking. And their companies had to respond. Ford, GM, Stellantis all had to respond in that direction. The political winds have changed, and so they have to change their business mode as well. So they can only operate in the environment they find themselves, in. So
I think 50% is what they're talking about now. If I'm wrong on that, somebody correct me, but I think it's by 2030 now 50% instead of 100%, which is
more reasonable.
I think a little more realistic, not only reasonable, but realistic for, as you said, the current environment. Yeah.
And there's also been a push as well for neither black nor white, but gray. So these hybrids, right? They're really catching traction. For example, I'm just giving you, the new Camry. Doesn't even come as an ICE-only engine. The base model is a hybrid, and you're getting great power because you're getting electric motors, so you're getting almost immediate torque with a lot of these hybrids. So you're not getting much less in the way of power. You're also getting, the regular traditional car noises, right? Where the engine actually makes noise. Where it sounds stupid, but a lot of people do care about that. That's why they're pumping engine noise into the cabin. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing that.
And there's a lot of, if you get into the higher end models of EVs, Porsche and Mercedes that manufacture that noise just inside the car, just to appease the driver, I guess, of the audible side of things. I was reading an article about Volkswagen. That's not it. We'll touch on that in a second. But I was reading an article about Volkswagen, and they were saying that they're going to start bringing in some of the same technology that China is using for range extenders.
Interesting.
On their EVs and dual modes as well. So that would be the first time we've seen that specific type of technology in North America. It might be a better solution, as Sean was saying, like you still get into those situations. Let's face it, Canada is a huge, huge piece of land. And depending on how far you're driving, you got to plan for how you're actually going to get there if you're just in an EV.
I believe that what they were talking about was very similar to what Li Auto was using. Obviously, Li Auto not executing properly, but there's a gas engine on the car, Breno, but that gas engine doesn't operate the car. It just recharges the batteries, so you get that natural EV feeling. And so I remember one of the Li Auto models, I don't know if it was the L6 or the L8, it had almost 1,300 kilometers in range, about 250 kilometers on just strictly battery. And then if you filled up the entire tank, you obviously extended it by almost 800, 900 kilometers.
It has to be a much more feasible option, for people who are commuting on a daily basis. But let's see. And I think we were talking going back a couple of weeks ago about how the pricing of, 2-year-old, 3-year-old Teslas specifically off a cliff at this point. So this is only going to add to that.
Absolutely.
I wanted to mention this, showed it there briefly, but coming up tomorrow, guys. So this is going to be tomorrow, MDLN. Final decent-sized IPO of 2025. It's going to be in the range of, what did I say, 5 to 5.5 billion on this. So 179 million Class A shares coming to market. Again, tomorrow it's going to be priced between $26 and $30. So it's been a decent year, dare I say, for the IPO market. Good to see, at least at the start of the year, there was a lot more excitement. Then it kind of dipped off again, but we'll see how MDLN does tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. What I feel like was a lot of the IPOs really faded aggressively off their highs. So those who were looking to come to market towards the end of the year were really maybe thinking, let's hold off maybe until the spring. At least that's what I've been reading. So it should be an interesting IPO market towards the end of next year, Brendo. But we definitely had a much more exciting 25 than we did in 23 and 24. I'm not going to complain about that.
Will we see a SpaceX among those in 2026? Elon said no.
He said no?
He said that article was incorrect, but maybe he was saying that the facts within the article were not correct. I mean, he's very vague.
He wants to put data centers in space, Brendo.
Yeah, we'll see. For anyone just joining, welcome, first off. It's going to be a very, very busy day on the economic calendar side of things. Most of it's coming at 8:30. So we'll sift through this as it comes. I mean, this is the first time I can remember in a long time that we've had more than an entire page worth of numbers that are all going to drop here at 8:30. So we'll sift through that, as I mentioned, and bring that to you when it comes. ADP did come out there, 16.25. That's the weekly ADP number, 16,250 versus 4.75 was the last one. Just going over to the guys here with this one. MDLN, guys, tomorrow, final IPO of the year. What do you think?
So I was just looking at all those numbers. I was actually thinking, like, how the heck is the market going to parse through all of those and then make a move? It's like one number could be, dovish, one number could be hawkish, and then so stay tuned, man. In only 8 minutes, we're going to get a heck of a drop, and make sure you do sign up for our watch list. You can grab that. I posted them all up as well. Go to Trader TV Research, go to Trader TV Sean for all those numbers, or check out any of those websites out there as well. Yeah, look, I mean, the IPO market, I think what Sharif was saying is right, and Brendan. I mean, it's been a good year for the names to coming out, right? But as far as the performance of some of these IPOs, it's been pretty disastrous. Klarna, Gemini, StubHub. I mean, a lot of these names, and there's probably going to be, there's many more that have absolutely gotten crushed. And we've seen yesterday, we saw CoreWeave. Some of these names have been actually pretty good, in the response early on. But yesterday we saw CoreWeave down 7 or 8%. So I think Medline, I don't know enough about it, but I think it's definitely worth looking at that. If it comes out on the high side of that $26 to $30, then there's going to be more buy-side interest in that. And we've seen what happens when it comes to big buy imbalance. So join Neil and I tomorrow, and we'll be looking at MDLN. And that was Nasdaq, I guess. It's 4 symbols. So we'll come out on the Nasdaq tomorrow. And then just for everybody that is excited about it, obviously join us early. We'll be talking about it. We'll give you guys the imbalance data as that goes. We'll tell you what the indicative price is, the indicated price moving forward on that is. And, we'll probably, if I'm sitting here, I'll probably go long. The thing is that I don't know if it's one of those ones where, so my sort of trick for it is, where's the hype? So if you come in and you see CNBC talking about it, we're already talking about it a day early, you want to see which investors are involved in it, right? You have a board up here on the Nasdaq,
ready to go.
and so you just want to see where the excitement is. If there is a lot of excitement around it, then that first minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute rally there should create maybe a halt. And then I tend to think, and you play it a little bit differently than I do, I think. I like to get involved almost immediately, and generally speaking, the better plays, honestly, are sometimes that pullback. Like you get that first halt and you get that sort of exhaustion of, all right, where are the buyers now? Oh, they've dissipated a little bit, then you can sort of read the tape, figure out where the momentum is, and play it to the downside. So MDLN, you excited about it, or?
Honestly, I'll be honest, I didn't even know about it until Breno just mentioned it. So thank you very much. $6 billion, but here's the thing, you're right, the hype could be a little bit different because the better ones this year were AI related,
right.
Or crypto related. But $6 billion, that does get me interested. So right away, you know what I like to do? I'm gonna hit the S1 and see who are these underwriters that are kind of taking charge of this. And you can see already some interesting names here. We got Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, and JP Morgan being one of the main ones, but a lot of other ones as well. We got BMO, RBC, TD, like everybody's a little bit involved in this one. So yeah, maybe it does get me very interested because of the participation of some of these underwriters, the names that we're seeing. So yeah, $6 billion, not
$6 billion. So that's pretty large. Like I don't know what. I can't remember what StubHub or Klarna or anything was, but I feel like 6 billion is up there.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the higher ones for sure this year. So maybe not the same as the AI or crypto hype, but we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, like you said, if it's oversubscribed, if it starts opening above that $26 to $30 mark, and we start to see some demand right away, like real-time demand on the tape, then yeah, definitely for day traders is going to be a good opportunity, I think so.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited for that. We will be doing a little bit of trading tomorrow, most likely on Medline. Yeah, so in Nvidia right now, it's one of the names I'm looking at early. I just wrote down 175. I like that new, they just bought that Sked MD there, so their full AI stack. I was just actually reading Sharif's note, which is absolutely fantastic once again here today. And if you become a member, by the way, if you want to get this, I'm just going to... this is Sharif's note. I'm going to show you how you guys get this. Look at this, driverless robots here, Tesla news. Here's all the Nvidia news. Here's the Amazon news, Trader Takeaways, Ford news that we just talked about. There's PayPal becoming a... So it's not the full bank chart or anything like that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Cannabis stocks, cool off despite Trump comments. So right there, you get Kraft Heinz. It just goes on and on here. It's 15... Sharif, man, stop doing so much work. It's 15 pages over here right now of just detail, detail, detail. So you might be thinking, oh, that probably costs $300 a month, maybe $50 a month, maybe $20 a month. Let's go lower than that. This is $5, and all you got to do right here is hit join. And what you get when you hit join is not only do you get this note, there it is, members only research note, all right? You get, where's the Obi emoji? We had an Obi emoji on here, I thought we did. Yeah, right here. This is Obi emoji right there, the standing. And you get a Randy emoji. So it's like, honestly, I like the research note, it's fine. But these emojis right there, hot fire. Oh, look at this, Sharif looking like he's running for office over here. He's got like his little jacket on there. This is, so anyways, all jokes aside, the research note, man, for less than a cup of coffee, you get it for the whole month, Obi. We're talking 50 cents a day. Yeah. We're talking less than 50 cents. We're talking 25 cents a day. Where's my math even at right here for all of that? So hit the join button. It's $5. You can see right there. Just help support the show. I mean, I saw shout out to Goated in the chat, said he watched she watched 3 ads to support the show in full. So thank you so much for doing that. But this is an easy way too. And then you get all of that information. There's over 1,800 members right now. So, you know, don't get stuck in the dark. These are notes that we all read. So it's just one of those things where you should be part of that. And it's just a good read on your way to work, on your way. And it's not only that, it's released at like 8 o'clock, like 8:30, like is the latest. So there where you get it an hour and a half before the market even opens up. So you could do all your research, find if the stocks that you're holding are in there, and get your stories before they hit the market. So yeah, anyways, thanks Sharif, and thanks for everybody there that continues to sign up. And we just got another member, so shout out right now to Super Pillypock. All right. Thank you, Super Pillypock. You will be very, very impressed. I guarantee you that. And if you are not, just tweet at me, you know?
I think...
like everybody else.
Joe might be ready for us.
He is ready. Okay, I don't even have this thing in my ear. All right, we only have 2 minutes to go. Do we still even want to go over there or go to the numbers or...
Yeah, we can do that, yeah.
All right.
A couple more minutes.
Sorry, my bad. I didn't even have my thing in my ear here because I was trying to hear what Brent knows. The thing, now I notice how close we are to everybody. Yeah. It's like if I have the news plus these guys, so I kind of hear them twice. But my bad on that one, Joe. We'll get those numbers quickly, but there we go, guys. So Sharif, I know you're putting a lot of work into that. Pages, man. Thank you so much. 15 pages. Wow. But, you know, get that going. We will have Adara. She's off on vacation, so she's back here tomorrow. But we read the news. We have the news all day. We have all of these sources. So if you're looking for the best spot, you've already found it. All right, an hour and a half till numbers, a minute and a half right now until numbers, and an hour until the market opens up. So let's kick it back to the guys. And I don't know which number you're going to read first here, Brendo, but they're all coming out, so.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those spot the first that comes in here. So everything that's flashing on this page right now is going to update here in about 90 seconds. Now, let's preface this because this is all delayed data, right? So we're going back to October and November. So will this even matter at this point? Who knows? Remains to be seen. as it comes in, I'm going to focus on non-farm payrolls first. Again, we're getting October and November non-farm payrolls, and then down here, this is the private number as well, again, for October and November. Secondary retail sales possibly could be something to watch. We'll look at the unemployment rate. 55,000 expected for the October number, 25,000 expected for November on NFP. 4.6% is the forecast for the November unemployment rate, the prior 4.4. So we are expecting a little bit of an uptick. Excuse me, on the non-farm payrolls number, average hourly earnings going to come through here. Government payroll is going to come through here. And as we said, the retail sales side of things as well. So market's moving 64,000 I'm seeing here, 64,000 versus 50 on the first number. So that's this one, hasn't populated yet. So again, 64,000 versus 50,000, unemployment rate in line, 4.6% versus 4.6% that was expected. Again, that is a bit of an uptick there. Retail sales came out 0.8% versus 0.4%, so an uptick on that. Still waiting for these down here on the private side of things for both October and November. We'll bring that to you when it does come out. But the headline number there again for October, 64,000 versus 25,000. My apologies on the forecast. 64, so much better than expected on that side of things. There's October, so negative 105. That's not 1,000, negative 105 versus a gain of 55,000 expected. I don't think I've ever seen a number that small as far as U.S. jobs are concerned. So negative 105 versus 55,000. And then down here on the private payroll side of things, 69,000 versus 28,000. Just hearing on that one as well. We're still waiting for October private payroll, supposed to be 20,000. We'll see when that populates. But I think as we thought, the market's sitting here kind of calculating all of these numbers as well.
It's so interesting to look at because you're looking at it from a two-sided equation. If the job numbers come in weak, then there's a likelihood or a greater likelihood that we cut in January. But if they come in stronger, well, then the Fed, may not be incentivized to cut, but you continue on with a stronger labor market. 4.6% unemployment. These are historically low numbers, even if it's an uptick from 4.5. So it still leaves a little bit of room for the Fed to maneuver.
Yeah, I mean, basically in line with expectations as far as that goes. And to your point, retail sales, from what I'm seeing anyways, right across the board, better than expected. So still seeing all kinds of strength from the retail side of things. Again, there's that October number on the private side of things. So 52,000 versus 20,000 on October private payrolls. Again, the two main ones up here. October NFP, negative 105. We were expecting 55,000 to the upside. October NFP, 64,000. We were expecting 25,000. Thoughts, guys?
All right, so my initial thought is just watch what the market's doing. And I mean, Sharif just sort of told us everything that you sort of needed to know when you're thinking about, what the Fed funds are going to look like, because a weaker job market would have potentially scared the market to the downside, but then given more power to the Fed to continue cutting. But we already had sort of talked about what the Fed, so I had this, I have not refreshed this. So this was January. So there's still, before these numbers, it was still a 25% chance for a cut in January. So if we refresh these right now, and I don't know, this might not even, okay, so it's still the same. So we're going to check this in maybe a half hour to see if these get altered at all by that, but still a 25% chance for a rate cut. So there goes the market back up to the upside right there on some of those numbers. The historically low unemployment rates, as Sharif was mentioning, they're 4.6 versus 4.5. That's a drop in the bucket right there. I don't think that that's going to really affect anything. That 105 number seems a little puzzling. The thing about all of these jobs are revisions. They come later, and so, that might be something to look at. I'm not even sure how accurate a lot of this data is, how they had to put it all together. I mean, these guys were off for 40-something days, the government, right? So gathering this data, putting it together, and trying to figure out what exactly it means is the job of the market, and our job is to trade the market. And right now, it looks like it's a positive bump, right? The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq both growing here as we don't have too much news stock-wise today, like as far as earnings or big monster stories to go. So it looks like we'll just sort of flow a little bit higher here with the Nasdaq and with the SPY as we look to take out some levels. Now, we're not really doing anything. We just sort of, we were going to start basically flat to down, and then right here, we've just sort of made back into some levels that we had seen yesterday. So let's see if we can try to hold some of this on the S&P 500. Yeah, okay, so there's the odds right there. So 31%. So good. Thanks for putting that up there, Brendo or Sharif. But there it is. So it was 24% earlier, as we saw. There's the new rate. There it is, 22%. So it's on the board. So, giving it a little bit of a bump there from a quarter to a third about, likelihood of a cut. And the market likes that, right? Market looking for cuts. And they got one in December. And then we had a little bit of hawkish talk, I think, only trying to raise it once or twice in 26. But the Fed shouldn't be the be-all, end-all of these markets, right? You saw what happened to Broadcom on earnings. We've seen the concern about the data center build-outs with Meta and with Oracle. And we worry a little bit about the AI trade, but we don't worry about financials. We already showed how much they were rocking. Before we go to Joe, any thoughts about this quickly?
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Sean. I think at the end of the day, our job is to trade what the market is showing us. We'll see how the markets eventually react going off into the open. So.
Good. All right. And we're going to also trade probably some upgrades and downgrades today. So let's go over to Joe. Options, interest, upgrades, downgrades. I think we're doing options first, right, Joe? Yes. All right. Let's go talk to Joe about options.
All right, guys, good morning and happy Tuesday. A lot going on numbers-wise and options activity as well, too. So let's get right into it and let's rage. At the top of the list here, guys, interesting stuff. I found these tickers and I've never really noticed them before. EEM, these are an SMCI emerging market. And I seen the Brazilian one, and there's a couple other countries, and you can see that we have FXI up here as well, too, the China shares ETF. So let's get right into it and see what we got going on. It's looking like we're seeing a rotation in some options activity because the volume was substantial. So EEM, guys, at the top of the list at that $54.50 strike price, open interest sitting around 7,210 with volume at a whopping 133,000. Very interesting stuff there. And then FXI, guys, I mentioned this just a couple of moments ago, open interest sitting around 67,400 with volume around 9,510 as well too. So $39 strike price, keep an eye out. And the way I'm looking at these, if you go into the actual charts of these names, I'm going to be looking at these as supply zones on EEM. We put in a high of around 55, and the exact same thing with around FXI. It was around $40 or so, roughly. And then IRBT filing Chapter 11 here, guys. Open interest, 23.9 thousand at that $3 strike price. I was trying to go lower, but unfortunately, in the world of options, you can't go south of $1, guys. So 13,900 contracts opened and closed on yesterday's session. Now, as for the call of the day, Meta was kind of going opposite of the overall market. We've seen some selling, but Meta held up relatively strong, in my opinion. So at that $650 strike price, open interest around 12,500 with volume around 13,400. Okay, potential supply zone in which I'm thinking, but we might have the ability to absorb it and continue its climb higher. Delta 0.47 there because of out the money call. Gamma exposure relatively cool, and then your at the money IV cool as well too, guys, sitting around 29.7%. We talk about Tesla, and I like to use it as a comparison. Tesla's at the money IV is typically high. Yesterday it was relatively cool, around 66%, and we're going to be looking at Meta around 29.7% here. Now we may as well get right into some of the upgrades and downgrades. We're going to start it off with the downgrades because Neil suggested, and then we're going to end it with a positive note. And yes, you guessed it, Coinbase getting the downgrade there, Sharif. $266 to $230 is lowering that target by compass point. You're down 1% here in the morning. Costco as well, too, going from a neutral to sell. Price target also being lowered from $906 to $769 by Roth Capital. And then we have Etsy as well, guys. $73 was the previous target. Now $60 is that price target. AT&T by Wolf Research, guys, going from an outperform to a peer perform, slightly negative here in the morning. Now, as for some of the upgrades at the top of the list, we have Broadcom, yes, going from a $472 price target to a $475. And then we have Alcoa as well, too, guys, looking at an overweight rating with a $52 price target. CrowdStrike as well to outperform here, guys, by Citigroup, and then we have JP Morgan. The banks have been performing absolutely phenomenally, and 370 to 375 is.
Correction, they forgot a K. So negative 105 was not negative 105. Negative 105 was negative 105,000.
Oh.
So what a difference a K makes in this case. So 105 to the downside versus a gain of 55,000 on the October number. And then November again, 64,000 versus 25. So a bit of a wash once you put those 2 months back to back against each other. But again, just quick correction there again. October, negative 105,000 versus 55,000 expected, guys.
Thanks for that correction there. I mean, that makes more sense.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
like,
look at the
I can count the amount of people. Yeah, no, but I don't know. That might have just been an error on that platform. It doesn't mean that it was released incorrectly. But here comes the market, though, right? I mean, just right back in. I don't think it has anything to do with that correction. It's just, you know, upside, and then there's just so many numbers there, so they react on a couple, then they re-react again. I mean, the big thing was the change in the chances of the rate cut, right, from 22 to 31. That's what we have to appreciate. So I think that's bullish for the market. All right. A name on Big Joe's list there. I like CrowdStrike if we're going to talk about getting upgrades at certain points here. I really like the cybersecurity space. I think whether or not you go with Palo Alto, a Zscaler, CrowdStrike, the Hack ETF, things like that. I just, you know, as this world goes on and we get more and more data dependent, we talk about AI. Let's look at some of the beneficiaries of AI, right? How about some of these names? Hopefully they can become smarter, more efficient, and less costly, you know, as AI sort of provides hopefully a better platform for some of these cybersecurity names to build off of and to get going. AI also obviously helps hackers as well get into systems, and you know, the more information that's out there, the more we need to protect it. So I like the CrowdStrike there. I think that just in the space that it's in, and then I own more Palo Alto than I do CrowdStrike, but at the end of the day, I do like both of these names. Now, Palo Alto is kind of a funny one because it was really cooking, man, heading into earnings. Like, this was straight fire in the booth there, just straight up into 220, 25, and then fell right back in. They had bought a company there, so they had gotten hit on some of that spend. And right here, man, I mean, they're underneath the 200 period moving average. So to me, if I'm gonna, you know, if I was Ash and I was looking to catch them all, I think I would rather choose CrowdStrike right now than Palo Alto. Palo Alto getting hit underneath the 200 period moving average. So for me, CRWD is it, and then Zscaler is just simple ZS. So we'll go over here and have a quick little look at that. And I think this is performing a little bit better than Palo Alto. I could be wrong, but no, even worse. So this name getting crushed. So I think now that I see this, I would look to CrowdStrike or even the Hack ETF, which, and I'm sure there's different ones in here as well, but this will encompass, I think it overweights Palo Alto, but this does have, you know, the cybersecurity edge to it. So that's what we're talking about right there. If you want to get them all right there and truly be a Pokemon superstar, you can catch them all right here. This is at the 200 period moving average. This is actually pretty decent looking right here for the space. So I don't know if anything caught your eye in that or what you want to talk about, Obi, but the floor is yours.
I mean, a couple names there. Joe was talking about that $3 strike on iRobot. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If you're looking for that, I guess, bankruptcy squeeze, we've already kind of pushed up on that first reaction about 120%. We've been fading off of that. But yeah, under $1. Kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm looking at these prior highs. Maybe we do make a couple legs because you got to know. It takes a while for all of that to kind of go through. It's still going to be trading for a little bit as well. And another name, AVGO, with that upgrade as well. We know it's getting beaten down for the past couple of days off of earnings. Pretty strong reaction, back-to-back days there. And with a lot of those upgrades coming in, I do have eyes on it. I'm gonna continue watching this. Maybe the selling is not over. We'll have to wait. Market dependent as well. Yesterday and the day before, the market sold off pretty aggressively as well. Especially when it comes to the tech sector. So out of those names, those are the few that that I have eyes on here. Another name that perked my interest was Costco with the selling that we had yesterday. Pretty aggressive. You can see it's getting a little toppy. Couldn't really make it through that thou mark over the past couple of months there, and that's coming in post earnings as well, right? It's been 4 days now. Today will be day 4, or actually day 3 of earnings. So day 1 didn't really react that much. Yesterday sold off with the rest of the market. So I do have this on watch a little bit as well. But yeah, out of those names.
No, I was going to say, yeah, it's strange because Costco is one of those retail names. We talked about this yesterday. It's kind of in no man's land. Like, where are we going here on Costco? So let's figure that out. Because, yeah, if you can zoom out very, very far to look at that. I did put something up there, and this is why I think it's so important to get involved in the chat. Like, we check this all the time. So I want to say a big shout out to Fearless Creation 3806. Thanks for cyber. I mean, there it is again. So it does look exactly like this hack ETF right here as well, but it does look like it does better volume. So yeah, only 177 shares today, but you know, at the end of the day, this is part of our group here, man. It's like everybody correcting us, helping us out, giving us different ideas as well every single day. So CIBR, the Nasdaq cybersecurity look. So there it is. So thanks for all of that as well. Yeah, for me, the retail spot is Target. You know, we're into this. We'll wait to see. And if you really want the big winner, of course, then you're going to want Walmart. I mean, we talked about Amazon being up 1% for the year. For Walmart, man. Walmart has been an absolute monster. These are all-time highs for Walmart. This is what a daily chart looks like for them, Obi, and it's just been, straight to the upside. So you want to talk about Amazon being flat on the year? Walmart started the year at $90 up to $116. So you're adding 25% right now to Walmart this year. It doesn't take a lot to understand what Walmart's model is, right? I mean, get as many products in as many customers' hands as possible, use that brick and mortar, and then backstop it with what they have now is a great online shopping experience apparently as well. I think it's like $10 a month, so it's something similar to Amazon Prime. They have full grocery, you know, and anything basically. Well, I don't need to tell everybody about Walmart, but anyways, that's a good spot, I think, to substitute any retail exposure that you don't have. Grab some Walmart even at these highs. I think especially with everything getting more efficient, you know, deliveries becoming more efficient, logistics becoming more efficient. I drove by the way, like Brampton has lost its damn mind right now. When I went to when I was in, Neil, myself, Brendan, all from Brampton. When I drove by, I was going to a hockey game there. We were playing Brampton, and I must have drove by 4 or 5 massive, the largest buildings I've seen in my life, like a huge Walmart. It must have been like, honestly, I should actually look it up, like millions of square feet, I feel like. Like it was blocks and blocks. It was an Amazon warehouse distribution center. There was a Walmart distribution center, and there was another major logistics company. I'm losing my mind, but it wasn't a big retailer. But anyways, it was like massive, and it's great for the city. I mean, the tax revenue and all that kind of stuff. And it's like no wonder why when you order from Amazon, you literally can get things in this area same day.
Same day, yeah.
Like if I say, oh, I need aftershave or something, I could order it right now. It's probably there at 4 o'clock tonight.
Even Walmart is same day. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Driving around, I think I've honestly been seeing a lot more of those Walmart bags in front of people's doors as well. So yeah, you're right. A lot of people.
What are you, a porch pirate over there?
No, I'm just saying driving around my neighborhood, I'm just like, okay, well, everybody's kind of ordering from Walmart. But yeah.
Thing is, that's why, I mean, you never really know what I'm going to say at any time. That's a thing. But no, you are 100% right.
Different kind of pirate.
And I think that's what yeah, exactly. We're sniping stock pirates. No, but yeah, that's the point, right? Is that with all of this logistical just sort of tailwinds, I think both these retail names can continue to work out. We are to have Mitch today, but maybe not. I don't see him coming through. He has not showed up. You know why? Because yesterday, the Raptors played the Miami Heat.
Okay.
In Miami.
How did that go?
How did it go? The Raptors dusted those guys. So I was gonna see if this man was gonna come in his jersey again and that hat again, but now nowhere to be found. Kind of like Neil when the Bills lose, you know what I mean? But the Bills actually had a great. Sharif never ducks the Cowboys. He takes it there. And now we're just playing around with Neil. Neil on the day off there, and the Bills had a great win this last weekend, and unfortunately my Packers not so much. Right there, yay sports, Obi. All right, let's go back over to the desk. I was just sort of waiting there. We don't have Mitch, but if he does hop on, we'll go to him immediately. So Brendan, the floor is yours.
Makes so much more sense now. He just emailed me and said his camera is not working. So he may have issues coming today. So.
When you come in with a cutoff and the jersey and you do a front double bicep, Brendo, with Miami, your team better win.
I'll reply to his email with the score from last night, and that's it. So, sorry, miss.
Sorry, guys.
Mitch, we miss you, obviously. Couple other things moving around here right now. I was just keeping an eye on the overall market. Still leaking back to the downside. I mean, overall, that range off those numbers, tiny. $2 to the upside, $2 right back down again for the Qs. We're sitting around this 610 area. Crypto overall, not doing a heck of a lot either, but was definitely a huge mover yesterday to the downside. We saw both Bitcoin and Ethereum just off a cliff as soon as equities opened anyways. If you're looking at the ETFs, we are seeing a little bit of stability here today, but overall, the sentiment here is still definitely downside.
It doesn't feel good. Joseph and I were going through the chart yesterday on the midday show. Brendo, really the last thing I think that we have going here for the bulls is the current higher low that we're holding on the daily, and who knows how long that's going to hold for. You know, we can show it there on the chart, but it's been a tough look here for crypto. Let's just pull up BTC real quick and look at the levels that Joseph and I were talking about yesterday. This is the level that we got back into on the tariff tantrum. That's early April, and we defended 75,000 almost like a glove. We put in an $81,250 low, which is, you know, about $6,000 higher, but it's going to have to hold that level, because if we drop back into that 75, you know the bears are going to be salivating there, and we could see a bigger drop. So as long as that higher low holds, at least for me, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Strictly from a technical sense, higher low holds, I'm feeling good. If it doesn't, I'm feeling really bad.
Gets a little sketchy down around that second pivot point. That's where Michael Saylor is sitting with a gigantic position, even after he loaded up with, I think it was 10,000 or something last week. They bought, in addition, their average price was still in the 74,000 area. So that is that level on that chart that you were pointing out exactly. So anywhere below that, I think Michael Saylor, speaking of, there was a ton of memes this morning of Michael Saylor floating around dancing with bears.
Why?
Trying to stop this sell-off, I guess. But yeah, I mean, 74 is going to be super key here for BTC, guys.
Yeah, man, I think, let me just pull up the chart here. I was looking at some of these stocks, again, crypto-related stocks for sure, with Bitcoin having the pullbacks as well. We talked about that, about the CoreWeave, about the Coinbase. So we're seeing the hits happening all around here. So let's take a look at some of those stocks with Bitcoin coming in. So Coinbase, definitely one of the vehicles that I like to use sometimes when Bitcoin is moving around pretty decently. You can see here pretty aggressive sell-off yesterday as well, down into 250, so that could definitely be interesting. But MSTR, of course, we've got to figure out some sort of strategy on this one, because if Bitcoin starts to drop even more, I think, yeah, definitely going to be a little bit underwater here. But I think, what was it there? I think their margin call is around like 20, 30K or something like that for that. But so they got a little bit of room. They definitely have a little bit of room. You know what? Honestly, I'll be happy if we drop down to like 15, 20K, because that's where I tried to pick it up last time, and that order never got hit. So
last time, when was that? That was a while ago.
It was a while back. Yeah. No, I definitely missed.
You're sitting there with a couple paychecks down there. Yeah, I mean, I think if it gets down to that point, I think that's definitely a place to look.
We've seen those kind of pullbacks on BTC in the past before, right? 50%, 60%, 70% pullbacks, pretty aggressive pullbacks, and then the cycle kind
of. So my only thing is that the pullback is already 40%.
Yeah, so we got.
So yeah, I mean, can you go from 125 down to 25? No. I mean, I'm asking you. Like, I think it's possible. I don't think it's impossible.
I think it's a non-zero chance.
Right. Okay.
I think it's a non-zero chance. Let's say that.
Yeah. Thank you, Fluffy Hippo. We really appreciate that. Yeah, I think we're having a great show, and what I meant by that is we've had all those releases, we've had some great talk here today, we've gone over a bunch of different things, and it's just been, I think it's been an excellent opening so far, and we're going to continue to do that. Yeah, so my big thing there, we looked at yesterday BMNR and some of these, as we look a little bit at crypto, I mean, that's sort of what Brendan was leaning towards here. You know, yesterday we had an 11%, I think it was even more than that, downside play there in BMNR, and we did not have a similar reaction to Ethereum, right? So you have to watch out for some of these names getting a little bit lower. We'll wait to see what Tom Lee has to say about this trust. But again, upside when it was all pumped and it was all great, and then downside, and Ethereum was ticking up to $5 grand, right now back into 3. So you just got to be careful with some of these holdings. And then I think, like, talk about a house of cards, like, it's just a leverage thing. So you mentioned, like, where will Saylor have to get liquidated? I don't know if there is a spot for that. And I don't know enough about the company. Neil and I both talked about this yesterday. Like, the average price, he looked it up on Gemini or something, it was 74 and change, was around the average price of all of the holdings. So what exactly does that mean? Bitcoin doesn't yield anything, right? And so if you're holding position in this stock, then you're basically just up and down with whatever's happening with Bitcoin. So just understand sort of, I think, what you're holding and the danger of holding some of these basic trusts here in MSTR. The only thing that they're doing right now is holding crypto. You know, not like a name like GameStop or some other names like that that just have it on their balance sheet. You have to understand that some of these other companies, Mara would be another example there, where this is back down to $10. Sure, they're mining crypto now, but with the halvening and all this kind of stuff, it's just become so much harder to mine right now. And then what about that ABTC? This is American Bitcoin Corporation. This is the one that's backed by all the Trumps. This is Eric Trump.
Okay.
Yeah. This is. They actually showed. This is all they're doing is Bitcoin. So they came out. Yeah. I don't know if they were a SPAC or what, but they came out at $8, $9. This is Trump backed.
What a beautiful swing.
Yeah, what a beautiful move. This is just straight to the downside right there. And there was actually a picture. If I can go find it, maybe I'll look for it. There was a picture. They're using HUD 8 technology there to mine, but Eric showed, and it came across on Instagram a couple of days ago, I guess, showed basically a walking sort of video of him going up and down their facility, and it was, I don't even know how many rigs they had set up there. It was thousands and thousands of these mines going. So they are all in. So ABTC, potentially something else that you want to look at as well. So, but yeah, Nasdaq bouncing off VWAP right now.
Yeah, so, okay, so this is what I want to point out, right? So let's just go back. This is why I say non-zero chance. Like, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions when it comes to BTC, but guess what? I'm gonna go off of what the chart has told me. I really don't care about anything else. You can see here, 10K, look at this. We can just measure the pullback.
Right.
82% pullback from 17 to 19. Here, 60K push, right? Let's measure that. All the way to the bottom, 76% pullback, right? Over the course of a couple of years. Right here, where are we at right now off of these highs? We're at about a 30% pullback. So if we were just to measure all the way 70 to 80%.
You didn't use the very highs, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You see what I mean, right? Within, so that's why I'm saying within range. Well within range.
For me, the major difference is that back in the day there just wasn't as many huge players in it. Now you have all these ETFs. Yeah. You know, at some point, and I don't know if it's going to happen. It might happen the other way around. Maybe all the leverage forces it to even go even more, and we could get. I just think that now that you have, you know, J.P. Morgan, like some funds, there's many more ways of investing in Bitcoin. Back in 2019 and everything like that, you basically had to hold the coin or get early GBTC, which was on the pink sheets. So you couldn't hold that in registered accounts and things like that. Nowadays, you have a whole bunch of people hodling Bitcoin that have never even thought about holding it before because they can get exposure through IBIT or through any of these other ETFs. So yeah, I mean,
so you're talking about some defense. You're saying some big players might play some defense.
Yeah, or it could go, or it could go the other way too, where they're just saying, I've had enough of this, and then big players start to liquidate, which forces the move even more to the downside. So I think that's the interesting thing about BTC, is that Bitcoin does have very many paths to which it can take, right? And so, yeah, it might not be for the weak at heart. And I don't know if you've been here when we've done this before, but what percent do you think of our audience holds Bitcoin?
Well, I remember. I think it was less than 50%.
Yeah, less than 50%. And we actually we did it about, let's just say 6 or 8 months ago, and it was like 30%. And then we did it again about a month ago, and it was about 50%. So I think, so to the point, there's more and more people holding Bitcoin now than there even was 6 months ago. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens here with BTC, as I know Sharif and Brendan also have opinions, but we'll have to wait to see where it goes from here. So, all right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. It looks like Mitch has to go to Walmart or Amazon or something, get himself a new camera to get that all figured out, because he will not be joining us today. Maybe we can hook him up later on this week, but let's go back over the desk. We have a good watch list. And Brendan, many stocks on watch today, so let's go through this right now. It is our watch list. Thanks, Brendan. Thanks, Sharif. Thanks, Obi. It's been a great morning. Let's keep the good times rolling.
Oh, Mr. Sharif has the market for us, guys.
All right, guys, we're going to go to the new contract, guys. We are on the new contract. The new contract, the March contract, is doing more volume than December 1, so we got to roll. And here's what we're looking at. The closing print from yesterday, guys, 68.80. So we're below 6,900. Again, new point levels, guys. So we're below 6,900. The overnight high is 68.92. So we're going to say 6,900 as that first level of resistance. The overnight low breached the 50-point area. We got into 68.32, but we're well above that now. So we'll say first support area 68.50. If we continue selling off at 68.25, if we catch a bid, Brendo, above 6,900, we're looking at that top that we put in a few days ago, 68.25 as resistance level 2.
All right, let's do this first. If you haven't done so, there's a free resource below, top link in the chat, or in the description. We'll get you to the sign-up page for the watch list. All you need is an email address, comes right to your inbox every single day for absolutely nothing, packed with lots of stocks to watch today. Tesla.
Do that on purpose.
No. GLJ Research, Gordon Johnson, saying Tesla's Optimus is quote unquote Chuck E. Cheese level tech.
Oh, that's mean.
And they will not sell one of these things in 2026. And back that up with a Bloomberg chart on his X account.
Huh, that's interesting. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to read that. Look, I have no comment about the Optimus until I see more. Obviously, we saw a couple of scammy things at that launch event where it was widely believed that, people were speaking behind the robot. We'll need to see more of that. But here's the deal, guys. Tesla was a big mover yesterday because of the driverless robotaxi testing in Austin. And Tesla did confirm it's begun testing these fully driverless vehicles in Austin, removing the human occupants. Testing is underway with no one inside, and it comes roughly 6 months after the launch of the service in Austin. Musk has spent more than a decade, as we know, promising autonomous Teslas, and they're currently operating in Austin and San Francisco Bay Area, with Tesla executives hinting that the broader fleet activation could take place via over-the-air software updates. That's for anybody who owns a Tesla, could have it as a robotaxi maybe when they're at work. Texas also currently allows autonomous vehicle testing and operation on public roads, and there's really no direct oversight from the DMV, but that's going to change in May of 26. And we know that they're operating in San Francisco Bay Area as well, Brendo, but the California regulator has confirmed to date, and this has been a few months of them operating, they still haven't actually obtained a permit, and they're sort of using this gray market rule, this in-between area loophole to operate.
Regardless, it was enough to get within, it was about 1%-ish of all-time highs yesterday. We did get above that last pivot. If you go out to a weekly chart, gotta go all the way back to, what is this? December of 2024 was the high, 488.51, according to this chart, guys. But Tesla, all kinds of strong here the past couple of weeks anyway.
Yeah, definitely kind of distinctly different from the rest of the market here, especially over the past couple of days there. I already have an alert in and around prior days highs right there. Prior days highs coming in at 481.76 there. Bit of a sell-off, strong flip on that buying balance that came in again at the end of the day yesterday. We seem like we're getting a bit of continuation back down, but yeah, almost at those prior highs. So yeah, if we can get a little bit of tailwind even from the market 480s push today. That's what I'm watching for sure. Let's go up to a higher time frame and see where that prior high was specifically. You can see we already kind of clipped it a little bit here on this one. Where was that specifically? That coming in at 479, but all-time highs coming in at 488.50 I have here. So almost there. Got a few more dollars to go, but as of yesterday, we did sell off a little bit here in an area where sellers were kind of dominant over the past couple of months. You can see this wick right here in October, this selling coming in November, now coming into the end of the year, some sellers coming right back in this area. So unless and until we can kind of lift, that selling can kind of lift off of this area, we'll see. But it does look like that relative strength, it's definitely in Tesla's favor. So.
Yeah, I like, I was just writing this down. Bitcoin is cracking right now. So I just added Bitcoin to the sticky note right now. IBIT, you know, we were just at 86, 87. You're starting to get a little lower here. Watch out for this break potentially there of IBIT. And not anytime soon, but when this market opens up, we'll see if there's any pressure continuing on this Nasdaq as we make a high there and then we get back down. And it's funny because I'm going to have written on here long Nvidia, but short the market. I'll explain that as we go. Yeah, look, there's a lot of Tesla haters, that's for sure. There's a lot of Tesla sort of fans, obviously. As I've already called this the biggest cult stock that's out there. And yesterday, once it got going, we nailed this early, Obi. We bought a 470 break yesterday, ran this thing, and we actually got it. It came back in. We got it twice, man. We got 470 to 472 by accident, bought 472s again, and ripped it all the way into 480. But that 480 was the high, and I don't think we see it today again. And if we do, I think it's probably a fade up and around this area. Generally speaking, when we make new all-time highs, and I know that the all-time high was 488 or something like that, but you know, that was a nice little run there yesterday before we had that imbalance, which I thought falsely knocked it down. I was actually hoping that it would kind of be near flat yesterday, because then I think that there's an instant run back up to 481. But now you got to make up that whole $10, and we made that real quick yesterday. Like in the first 10 minutes, we made this all back. So I think Tesla has an opportunity to do it. We don't necessarily have great stories today. Obviously, I don't know anything about Chuck E. Cheese quality and all this. I saw Five Nights at Freddy's. That's the kind of Chuck E. Cheese animation that I'm all about, those animatronics. But I don't think Tesla robots or anything like that. We showed it last week. It's pretty incredible the way these things move and what the possibility is. Thank you, Randy, for that. And if this wasn't a fake mic, I'd ask you about Optimus and what you think about Tesla. But yeah, I like it. Oh, man, you guys don't need to... The handoff for the coffee. Thanks for that, Randy. But yeah, I think it's no surprise there. Day one, after making these moves, I could see a little bit of a pullback there today. It's happening right now. It's down 0.7%. Let me just see what happens if we get back to 480. So I don't necessarily want to buy this thing right off the jump. And this pre-market is a little too choppy with all those numbers coming out. So I think if you're going to go long, it's just going to be this break of the 200 period, which is 474. So I think you could probably get that early. I just don't know if there's enough to get to the upside on that play. So we'll wait on Tesla. It's not on my list today, but it was the #1 stock on my list yesterday, and we hit it early. So we'll wait to see where it goes from here. But yeah, I think if it gets real nasty on Tesla, that 460 area is a good buy zone. So we'll play it soon.
Go to Nvidia here. If you zoom out a little bit on the daily chart, we're sitting right at this support level around 170, 173. Been there for the past couple of days, continues to bounce off of that. There's a small acquisition to talk about today as far as Nvidia specifically is concerned. As we were saying, though, early on this morning, it tried to lead yesterday right out of the gate. We gave it all back at the end of the session. We'll see what happens today.
Look, Brendo, I mean, it's not a bad look, this acquisition, as they look to strengthen their hand in the software space. We know they're dominating with CUDA, and this is more of the same. So they announced the acquisition of AI software firm ShedMD, which is critical to the AI infrastructure software push. It strengthens their position across the full AI stack. We're talking about, you know, from chips to orchestration software. The financial terms of the deal were not disclosed, keeping focus here on the strategic value. But one has to wonder, you know, given the amount of money that Nvidia has been deploying lately in the scrutiny under which they've been put for the deployment of such capital, why they've chosen to keep the financial terms secret this time. A little bit here about ShedMD. They develop Slurm, which is a widely used open source workload scheduler. It manages massive computing jobs across data centers. It's essential for infrastructure, for training and running large AI models, and it's good for both training and inference, so and not just in one regard. And they confirmed, Nvidia confirmed Slurm will remain open source as they continue to push into that realm. Nvidia's CUDA platform does remain the core lock-in tool for developers, and the acquisition of ShedMD it deepens their control, Brendo, of how AI workloads are scheduled and processed, et cetera. Not a bad look.
Yeah, not a lot to look at so far this morning, but positive price action so far, guys, for Nvidia right now.
Yeah, so I have Nvidia. I'm just putting out the sticky note right now. I was in the middle of writing it there. I have Nvidia written as a long, and I was going to. I have a broader market short idea I'm thinking about. But with Nvidia being up right now, I written down here 174 to 175, so I am expecting it to dip down there off the open a little bit as the market continues to push lower. I mean, we just bounced off VWAP right there. And what I wrote down here is, you know, need to be patient. There's a possible, I'm just reading what's on my note, going to be a possible dip in this space. Also, this new acquisition there of the ShedMD should help their AI stack, right? And I got a lot of that information from Sharif's morning notes, so thanks, Sharif, again for that. But back into here, this was bought up, right? Like this is the close 2 days ago. So you're talking about Friday's close is this 175 area. Yesterday, you know, again, at 10 o'clock, the market really took a dump there, and Nvidia stopped again at 175. You know, then it continued to make, you know, lows there all afternoon, but not after giving you a great $3 trade back to the upside. I don't think this is going to run any which way today. So with that being said, I think if we can come back in here. Now, I wrote down 174 to 175 because I want to take the trade here, but then be able to hold it if we do get a little lower, right? So if you sort of zoom back out here, that's 174, that's 175. We don't have any 174s here. So let's go back in, test this, hold it to see. That's a dark pool dump at 8 a.m. I'm not playing off that wick at all. But let's just give it a little bit of room is what I'm trying to get at. So if we do come down here and we're patient enough, and you could take a couple hundred shares there, and then see if you can get a couple $100 back to the upside. If not, you drop it on a bad decision through 174. So I want to give this a little bit of room. I think, you know, we talked about the acquiring companies tend to go to the downside. It doesn't look like this is going to cost them that much, and it does help their AI stack. So that's a big push for Nvidia. As you know, Obi, you're kind of a software guy. As most of this GPU race goes on, Nvidia does have the advantage of the software. And when you're building on top of GPUs, and you know you're going to need to get that software controlled. So this Slurm or whatever this is seems to be a help, and you know the analysts like it, and it makes a little bit of sense there. So I'm going to be dip buying Nvidia if it is available, and shorting. If I'm going to choose a weapon to short, it would be AMD, the same one that we were choosing yesterday. So. In the space. And then I know you hit Broadcom yesterday.
Yeah.
So there's lots of opportunities in the semi space, and we haven't even talked about Broadcom. There's lots of space on Broadcom also to the downside if you're looking for shorts somewhere else as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think I did point out SMH earlier here. You can see Nvidia, yeah, 212.18 highs here on the daily chart, kind of pulling back in. We've seen some selling over the past. Let's just measure this. That was an aggressive push all the way to all-time highs right there. So for about, I guess, October, November, December, 44 days I have here, 44, 45 days. We've been having some seller dominance, so some weakness coming into the end of the year here. I'm just looking at this as a bit of a range. We can see that this day, post earnings, we bounce off of 170 with some distinction there, attempt to push a little bit higher, but it seems like we're making a little bit of a crawl back towards some of these lows, the low of the range here. So yeah, 170 is going to be interesting for me. 190 as well to the upside if we do continue to hold this uptrend. I do want to point out SMH, like we were saying before, a little bit of a pullback as well. Hasn't really reached as far down to the lower end of this range, this leg right here, as Nvidia has, but it should be interesting to see. And some of the other chip makers that Sean just mentioned as well, definitely going to be on watch. But yeah, Nvidia with the dip buy, I don't necessarily mind that idea because it is a very, very strong stock, and we've been in a very strong market. And coming into the end of the day, maybe we're getting some discounts. Who knows?
Yeah, okay. I think so. Yeah, there you go. So we're a little aligned on this one. Let's wait to see what happens as this market opens up. And then here we go. We got another one. Yesterday, we did have a big story on MSOS. Let's go find the news today.
Yeah, same story. Unfortunately, not a lot to look at as far as cannabis is concerned right now in the pre-market. Anyways, we're heading downside a little bit for MSOS. Yeah, Trump yesterday, if you missed it, saying a lot of people want to see it. ...
Yeah.
Whether or not that'll actually amount to anything remains to be seen.
To be honest with you, Brendo, and this is kind of ironic, the industry experts now are actually thinking that there's a better shot reclassification happens under this administration than the previous one, despite the fact that it was the previous one who initiated this. It didn't go through as the DEA got involved there and put the kibosh on things. So President Donald Trump confirmed he is considering an EO, an executive order to loosen federal marijuana regulations. Specifically, the administration is looking, quote, very strongly at reclassifying marijuana, citing the benefits in medical research. The shift, this would shift cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, and moving it so would remove some of the same, would remove it from the same category as heroin. Reclassification could unlock many different things: banking access, institutional capital, expanded research, long seen as structural tailwinds for the sector. Industry executives believe momentum is stronger than in past attempts, as I kind of prefaced there. So we'll have to wait and see, but it has been a strong few days here for weed.
It's going to be one of those trades, I fear. However, if it does happen, you're going to have had to have been involved 2-3 days prior, because it'll be instantaneous. It'll be up 10% plus. So as far as the intraday move goes, guys, not much to look at right now. It'll be a trade the news kind of approach.
Yeah, so I think this one was interesting on the first couple of days here, and we've given back a decent, I guess, a decent chunk of the move from prior day or day one of the move. We got about a 50% pullback, roughly, just eyeballing it right there, but still holding some of these reference lows, right? So still technically in a bit of an uptrend here. So I'll let it digest. I think $5 a little bit of an interesting area on stocks as well. So definitely on watch coming into or coming off of this this news here. I like the fact that it's holding some of these prior levels, but if we do pull back below some of these references, then I think we can definitely come back into that $4 area here as well. So do have it on watch. I'm just going to keep it technical here. I think unless and until everything is finalized, it's all speculation to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, we talked about that yesterday. If you looked at the chart there, as you just did there, you've already come up to this top, and looks like once it loads there, this may, be something to fade off of. So I would say if we do pump anywhere near the 6 to 620, until we get that executive order, it's gonna have to pass through all these votes and everything like that. So I think this is a very far away from having anything happen unless it gets pushed by the current administration like hard, and it can happen, right? If you do get that executive order there, the EO, then maybe that that will absolutely run this. So I think it's interesting to look at there. And I think you want to buy dips now in MSOS. I mean, you do have a good little level there, 370 to 380, where it looks like it's going to be a buy zone right there. So I would just say, ears to the ground. And if it ever halts again, like it did yesterday, then I think it halted in here, I think right at the end there. Right into here, so 345 or so. That's what you're waiting for. You're just waiting for more action like that, and then we can play off of it. So it halts, gets to that high, and then fades the rest of the day. So I think who's in control here is still the sellers of the marijuana space. So we'll wait on MSOS. But again, a good little look there. TCNNF. TrueLeave. This is the one that I own in this space, and this is a multi-state operator. So you can see how this got reaction for the last couple of days as well, and now pulling back, and very similarly right into these highs again. So I think if you're long down here, definitely look to take some kind of profit. Why not take half out and let the rest run? I think has to be some sort of profit taking on this, because they can literally go up in smoke. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening with many of these cannabis names. Tilray's been an absolute disaster, so is CGC. So, play it for what it's worth and definitely take profits when they're there, but down another 4% today. So sometimes greediness in this space never pays, man. Take the profits when the profits are there. That is a cannabis space. Roku, a name that we don't trade enough, but always seems to be aggressive with its moves. Let's go get the story on Roku.
A 2x upgrade, going from, neutral to overweight from Morgan Stanley on Roku. It's rare on the upgrade scale to go just bypass an entire level and go right to the max for them. It's especially on a stock like Roku. They talked a little bit about advertising and the connected TV angle and whether that is going to be the next step as far as online ads. But I mean, everyone's shifting to streaming, so unless you're streaming via a Roku,
that's exactly it.
I don't connect the dots here, but we'll see.
You hit on the nail right on the head there. So yeah, double upgrade, which is rare for Morgan and even rarer for Roku. They're boosting that price target quite healthy here. Nice move, 85 to 135, implying about a 24% upside from the close yesterday. So a nice possible move here for Roku. Morgan saying, look, 2026 is going to be a strong year for advertising spend, and it's going to continue in the digital ad growth. Connected TVs, as Brendo mentioned, CTVs seen as the fastest growing segment within an already very healthy ad market, and Roku specifically, get it, Joey, is viewed as a key beneficiary given its scale, its platform reach, and the leverage it has to ad dollars rather than, hardware sales. That's not what they're focusing on here, the TVs. It's about the ad sales. Roku launched also its CTV advertising platform in Brazil, expanding its international monetization. They also added 30 fast channels to its live TV guide, which are free, and it's broadening its free push there. It was a good earnings report for it last time, Brendo. I don't want to go too much into it, but they beat on EPS, in line on revenue, and the shares are up 47% year to date.
Just a heads up on the tweet it says GME, but he's actually talking about Gemini, I think. Michael Burry just tweeted a free article on his Substack. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Gemini, not GME, but he actually put GME, the ticker, in the actual tweet. So just a heads up, Michael Burry's tweeting right now. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get that all going there as well. So you have a longer frame there on Roku. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure that's a 1 week chart.
A weekly chart.
Yeah, go talk about that because that looks.
So right there, I see a little bit of a push in the pre-market right here. So I pulled up the weekly chart here on Roku. Look at that nice, beautiful curl. A little bit of a multi-year breakout potentially happening here. We haven't seen some of these prices, if we do get it a little bit higher, since about April of 22. So back all the way down from its former glory here, from 490s. Nice little lick grab there of those all-time highs there. That was actually really nice. But yeah, kind of curling right back in. So this could definitely give us some decent opportunity on the day today if it is to continue. So I am watching some of those highs. 115s, I like that level as well. You can see earnings reaction high, 116.54, and that's from the end of October. So should be interesting if we can make it pass through that. I think maybe we do have a little bit room for the upside, maybe 120s as well. You can see it's been trending up into this breakout as well. Let's go to a little bit of a higher time frame, see how the volume is doing there. Are we increasing in volume? Not too crazy, but it's been kind of interesting, just a slow, steady grind up back into these earnings reaction highs at that 116.5. Here on Roku. But that higher time frame, when it comes to daily breakouts, when it comes to weekly breakouts, those are strong. When it comes to monthly breakouts, those are strong. We're talking about a multi-year breakout here on Roku if it does get going, but got to be volume dependent on this one. I want to see that demand really come in for it to go.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's why I want to go over to you because it does look. I mean, you had a great look on the weekly, but there it is right there, just breaking on the daily as well, breaking through that 110, and now finally starting to get to the upside. So on a double upgrade, I like to think that these guys might know what they're doing. So there it is. That's what I was waiting to load up right there. So you actually break through this 2013 level, and OB already, the longer time frame shows everything you need to know. This seems like a very, very key level. So this 110, I don't think we're going to get faded back into that today, being up 4%, but we were just there yesterday. So if there is a possibility, look, we couldn't get through 110 at all. Now it gets double upgraded. So I always think that, tinfoil hat and all this kind of stuff, it's not even that tinfoily, but they couldn't get it broken. So whoever upgraded it today, they're probably long Roku. And it just, they noticed that it wasn't breaking the level. So then today they come out and upgrade it to get that bump through. So now let's see. I would just be nervous on a 110 fail. So we'll see if it can hold that, but if it comes back in, then I think that everybody, that's been long down here and enjoying this run up, potentially they're just going to use your liquidity as exit liquidity on some of these upgrades today. So, from 90 up to 115, that's a great movement. It was just $90 back on December 8th. So get your Rokus on sale right now as we get into Cyber, Monday sales and Black Friday sales and all that. But it's kicking to the upside, man. Pay yourself first. I think just for me, it looks like a little suspicious, but get out of a little bit of Roku right here. And then honestly, if you want to buy a little bit more, maybe you buy some if it does come back into that 110. But don't let it fade back against you. So watch out for that 110 back on the underside of that trade. So yeah, market trying to figure itself out right now. We have Ford. I almost said that said FEVs, which it does say, but it's Ford with the EV talk there. So they yesterday got rid of $19.5 billion. We'll see you later. That's going to be accrued over the next couple quarters. And it's the story of them basically scrapping their F-150, looking to make smaller EVs. Moving forward, going into the sort of the compact, the urban look instead of the industrial there. So let's go get the story from the guys at the desk. It's Ford Day today as they take a couple write-downs.
To confirm, it is actually GME that Michael Burry was tweeting about, but that is the stock. It's doing absolutely nothing right now, so I didn't even read it. Who cares? Let's talk about Ford. Back to the upside a little bit here right now. I mean, we gave back most of what was happening in the pre-market. But trying to hold 1370, 1375. This is, I think, a long time coming for them and much, much needed, as we said right off the top. Remember, 8 o'clock start, guys. Join us for the first half an hour. We touched on this a little bit, but it's a mandatory shift, but it's going to cost them better part of $20 billion.
It is, Brendo. I mean, mandatory in the sense that they have to get their ducks in a row. I mean, it was a running gag on the floor here that the Mach-E, they lost $35,000 a pop on every car. That's a ridiculous amount to be losing. This is a for-profit company, guys. And they expect to record $19.5 billion in special items tied to restructuring the business priorities and, of course, pulling back on pure EV investments. Most charges are going to hit in Q4, followed by $5.5 billion in cash charges. That's going to be through 2027, but the bulk of that $19.5 billion is going to be paid next year in 26. Charges will impact net income, but ironically enough, not going to affect adjusted net earnings. Make of that what you will, but the adjusted part of the net earnings. They did raise their 2025 adjusted EBIT guidance about $7 billion. That's up from 6 to 6.5. Good look there. The company's going to also take an $8.5 billion EV-related asset write-downs, reflecting, of course, a slowing demand for EVs. And they're pivoting, as Sean mentioned, towards hybrids as well as plug-in hybrids. And they're shifting from their electric vehicle lineup from the large, F-150s in favor of the smaller, more affordable EVs. The F-150 Lightning in specific, though, Brendo, that's going to change. It's going to transition from a pure EV into an extended range EV, much like the Li Auto kind of format where they have a gas engine that powers the batteries or recharges the batteries, and the batteries power the car. Jim Farley, the CEO, he basically said, look, demand is weak for that $50,000 to $80,000 EV. We got to put out what customers want. They don't want these cars. We're shifting.
As Randy made a good point earlier, before we came on at 8 o'clock this morning, talking about that show Landman. Have you seen Landman?
Love it.
Great show.
Billy Bob.
It's essentially a Ford commercial, and everybody drives an F-350, let alone 250 or 150. It's like
they got to have the dualies.
The giant ones, yeah. Right back down, though, here, guys. We were giving it all back for Ford.
Yeah, yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, nice move up there early yesterday as it was released, right there at basically right at 4 p.m. So, yeah, I like I said, I think it takes a lot to sort of go ahead and pivot from one space to the next, but. I think this is a multi-year sort of idea and a plan there as they look to have, I think it was 50% of their fleet by 2029 should be EV, but a spin over to hybrid. I think that's the right move, right? I mean, Ford's been really hot. It's up 40% on the year. We sort of talked about that a couple times from top to bottom there on the year. Well, here's January into here. So $10 to $14. You are running into some space, though, right now where we've seen a lot of overhead supply. We're unable to get through it. I remember when they reported here, got to 15 and stopped completely. Then we had that run again to 15 and stopped completely. Now we're at 14. So I think if you're into Ford, I don't really like the car business. We've talked about this over and over again. So I own some Ford, probably get rid of it here as we continue to climb. It's not really on my watch list today. Let's see the action here on Ford. I would say, I don't know, like if we're trying to buy it, yesterday's low is $13.50. I don't mind that as a look, but I'm I'm not in love with this right now by any stretch on Ford. The imbalances are now out. Let's have a quick little look on them, and then we'll go over to Obi, see if he has any ideas. But oh wow, we were just talking about this before. There's ABTC, so American Bitcoin downside there as well. Nvidia, I just saw. SMR can't get it. Wow, SMR can't get out of its own way, man. That is now down another 2%, trying to break through. Does break through 17. I thought I saw some Nvidia on here, but I don't anymore. So, all right, BMNR also with a sell. Looks like we could get a sell side early. My sticky notes out. It's all about the sell side. We talked about being very, very cautious. We'll watch out for a break of the Nasdaq early. The TQs looking to get lower here to start with. Any thoughts on Ford quickly? Minute and a half.
Yeah, so I'm kind of looking at the hourly, the daily, kind of choppy for me. So I just moved all the way up to the monthly to see some to get some perspective here. You can see a slow, steady grind up on increasing volume that's breaking out of some of these consolidation highs here, kind of pushing back up towards some of these levels where we did get slammed down pretty aggressively. When was that? This was in January of 2022. So 1973 is that monthly high. So slow and steady, I guess, wins the race maybe when it comes to Ford. We'll have to wait and see. But today, intraday, it seems like again a little bit of a chop, even though it's been trading up pretty nicely on the weekly, daily, monthly. You can see here giving back that bit of a shake and bake. So I guess that news kind of coming out after hours, a bit of a pop and a push, and coming right back into some of those lows here as well. So I'll be watching it, maybe stuck in a range. So maybe we'll take out the range playbook here if we do come into some of prior days lows, or maybe even this ping. I like when strong volume comes in the market and we kind of ping both sides. Gives it a little bit of a perspective of where liquidity might be sitting. Yeah, we'll have to wait and watch and see if anything happens at those specific levels. So what are those levels for me today? On Ford, 1407 is the high there. 1340 is the low.
Now, this is brought to you by AIM Health. So I want to thank them for helping us ring this opening bell right now. And there it goes. We are now open. AIM Health. Thank you so much. Go check them out. AIML. All right, so right now, market's starting to get hit a little bit to the downside. This is what we were thinking about. We were thinking about the shorts. So let's just sit here, watch to see what winds up happening. Here's a nice little move up, as you can see, in the Nasdaq to start with. So here's a nice little bounce area for the TQQs. I'm going to try 52s. We wrote down here on the note 52.50 as the top. So if this does get running, we'll check on that. Yesterday, we had Tesla making a huge run to the upside right away yesterday. And right now, just kind of dancing. I said maybe 474 if we take that out. That could be the push a little bit higher. So that's coming in potentially real quick right now. That's Tesla. And then just to have a quick look at see what Nvidia is doing, that's making a move down, sort of as we had thought. Be patient, waiting for that 175 to possibly come in there as well. So for me, if we can get into these TQs, I think that would be a decent area to start with as we just get back up into the 200 period moving average. I'm going to start it now, and we'll just get a little bit of a short. Oops, there it is. Okay, we get that short going. So now we're into this. We're going to watch out for 52s, but we're starting to go short right now this market. So let's go short the Nasdaq as we speak.
Yeah, a bit of a pop and drop. It's kind of chopping in the range here. So I'm going to be a little bit patient. I'm watching that Roku. Roku's pulling back a little bit aggressively. 110s. We talked about that 110 being a little bit interesting here. So we'll take a quick look at that. Pulling back pretty nicely into that 110 level here. I'm also watching AVGO here. You can see a bit of a bid, so distinctly different from the past couple of days. Maybe we're getting that reversion, perhaps, maybe. I'm going to be watching. Sellers have been very, very dominant, so if they do step back in, we're already above VWAP. We're above some of these prior day levels as well. And yeah, some aggressive selling on a multi-day. Maybe it's too far too fast, but the bid coming in off of 335s right off of the open here on AVGO. Softy catching a little bit of a bid here as well. Let's take a quick look at the mags. Yeah, it seems like that short might be working out here because Tesla's definitely coming down. 470s just broke on Tesla. So
what is strong then? Because the market's going a little higher right here. I think it's Nvidia just bounced off 175.50, so we're close to that. But here we go, man. We're short right now, as you just mentioned, right here, right now, at these prices, and just trying to give it to 52.50. I couldn't really find too much of an area. That rate there is actually, maybe we could go even a little bit higher. That's 52.70 or so. Yesterday's sort of afternoon high. Yeah, let's change our stop into and around there. See if we can get any love for that trade. 52. Let's just put it in right now, just in case it goes. What did I say? 52.76 is. All right, let's do that. So we'll give this about $1 of room right now, back up to the upside, which we are trying to average in again. If we can get anything at 52.20, that's sort of where we're waiting. My next order is at 52.25. All right, it just dropped into VWAP. We could have taken that. I'm actually here at 50s. See if we get a little bit lower. But now, you know what? Let's take out 5% in the low 60s. That's where VWAP is and where the 200 period moving average is. So we're short the market right now, and we're going to go 1 for 1 if it works. But so far, so good. Early days, man. It's 9:33. All right, let's go over to Ford right now and have a quick look. Okay, that was easy. Let's move off of Ford. Nothing happening over there. Nvidia moving. You mentioned Tesla. Wow. We talked about Tesla possibly get down TQs. We talked about Tesla possibly, making a day one play basically after, reaching highs yesterday at 480. Key area. I think there's a lot of traders looking for that. So here's the sell and there's the move right there. So so far so good. We get that fill down there in the 60s for the Nasdaq. Doesn't mean that this trade is over. We're actually just got out of 5%. So that's what we're doing right there. I also indicated that IBIT could be a good short today. Obviously the market has to go as well. So if the Nasdaq doesn't go, then crypto will probably be fine. But if the Nasdaq continues its downside push there, I do watch for a break in Bitcoin. And I wrote down here IBIT 49.50 short. So we're right here right now. I chose going with the Nasdaq, but I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to go with these futures and giving it that 30 cents into that pre-market high. Some of these levels that I'm looking at to stop out at are the highs of that number release. So that's sort of where I would stop out, right? So if we go over to the TQs, it's something similar right there. This is where I want to actually get more in and then give it a little bit of love back to the upside on that trade. So, all right, that's what we're doing right now. We're looking at those names. And then if you guys want to get involved, go into the chat, type it right into here. I'm actually going to reset this right now. I'm going to give this a fresh start. Go in there, type in $, because now that the market's moving and we've already gone over a couple names, get into here, type in $TMC. It's going to show up here. It's going to populate down there, and then we're going to get some votes going on. So that's what we're doing right now, looking for more names to trade. Micron earnings in a couple days. That could be an interesting one as well, Obi.
Well, AVGO coming in with a lot of strength here. I hit the short a couple of times there, just keeping it light, just to kind of feel it out. 345 breaking with some distinction here. So breaking past some of prior days' levels. So let's take a quick look at that. I said I did want to wait for and watch for sellers to potentially come in. There's 347 here could be interesting as well, but straight line up 335s all the way to 345. So a $10 move on AVGO with absolute strength here. So yeah, a bit of an uptrend coming in off of the open, but let's see if those sellers can step back in. Market's still kind of within its opening range here. We're still about we're only about 5 minutes in, so those players taking those 5-minute opening range breaks. Let's see what is moving around and kind of following through here. Tesla's definitely some strong selling. Again, bit of
Nvidia's getting cracked
from yesterday. Nvidia, you say?
Yeah, well, you just mentioned AVGO going one way. Nvidia's down to our 175 area. I'm going to hold off on buying this. I know I put this down on my note, but we're going to hold off. Let's see if it does bounce there off of 175. So far, wow, if I was just sitting there at 175 like we had wrote down on our note, then you'd have a nice little 30-cent bump there, but that's not going to be enough. Let's wait to see what winds up happening right now. Market going oppo. We should have probably bought that Nvidia. Damn it. That was our number one trade there on the note, and I was not sure of wanting that there. So if we go over here and we go into this, you see our note right there, Nvidia 174 to 175 long. I wanted to see what it did down there, but first take, $1. So it just does pop in there, Obi. It does go, look at that. Look where it goes to. 175 flat right there, and now popped up $1. So darn it, missed opportunity over there. All right, not necessarily as expected, but here goes the TQs again. We'll put back a little bit of what we got out right there, give ourselves a little bit of a better average price, but I'm still waiting up here at 25. I'm going to put that a little bit higher in because it looks like we are going to get that. Let's go to 52.35 or so. All right, we'll put an offer up there. We'll see if that's a good spot to sort of get maybe our last bit of shares on this, and then we're going to get out, yeah, like I said, 52.75. If we take out yesterday's sort of levels there, then we'll get out. And it looks like right now, shorting a little bit more might have been a good call up on that high side. So we'll see what's going on right now. 51.20 right now coming, or 51.90, sorry, coming in. Looking at 52.20 to get a little bit more. Anything going on with Ford there? No, you looked at Broadcom. Tesla also might have found a bottom there. Now, where was that bottom exactly on Tesla? It looks like we bounced pretty clean there off that 466, which is your 200 period moving average on a 5-minute chart. So it does look like Tesla comes in there and gives you everything you need down there for a nice little victory dance. Let's see how long it's held out for on Tesla. If I'm long now, I'm thinking about getting some out, that's for sure. Nice little $5 move higher there in Tesla, back up to the 50-period moving average, taking out VWAP and everything. Tesla looks like it's the one to go right there. You see we're back into that short of Broadcom, eh?
Yeah, I'm trying it a couple of times here. Again, seller's pretty dominant over the past couple of days. Today could not be the day as well. Again, maybe everyone expecting that aggressive selling coming into AVGO right off the bat. But you can see the market kind of trying to catch a bid here once again as well. Here's the Nasdaq. And yeah, new contract today, right? So
right,
we are on the H today. Tesla wiping right back up through 470, so that could be something here as well.
If Joe took Nvidia 175, I'm going to punch him in the face because that was a great call. Now I'm feeling bad about it. Joe, what do you got over there? Oh, not on your mic. Okay. Whenever he hits that, I'm thinking it's throw to Joe, but it is not.
On the Tesla. Yeah.
Go to the boy. No, we're in Tesla right here. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. We could pull up the old chart ski. 10 cents risk right there. Wait for that 2-to-1 risk to reward target. And then now we're just piecing it up with approximately 10% remaining on the position there, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice. Great.
Attaboy, Joe. Attaboy, Joe. We like Joe. Nice call there, Joe. All right. Yeah, nice little look there on Tesla, man. I love that. Like, that's exactly the kind of look that I'm looking for all the time is when it bases out and then you give yourselves that stop. Not 10 cents worth of risk. That doesn't make sense, does it, Joe? 10 cents is the spread on Tesla, but...
TSLL.
Oh, TSLL.
Yeah.
10 cents spread, entry at 85, entry at 95, stop at 85, first partial at 21.15s.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so TSLL. I was going to say, Tesla, you don't want to do 10 cent spread.
Yeah.
That's just get in, get out immediately. But there it is. Yeah, so anyways, perfect call. That's exactly the kind of stuff that I'm looking for, whether or not it's TSLL or TSL. You're looking for something to either bottom or top out, play off those levels early, and you can have an absolute banger of a trade if you're right. So I hope that works out. Obviously, I'm short the Nasdaq right here, and so far it's working out. But we just bounced off 81s there. I'm actually at 80, believe it or not. So I'm going to put a bid now. I'm just going to put it at 82, cancel my 80 bid. Don't want to get out of everything here, of course. And we'll just take another 5%. So what I'm trying to do is hold this back down. If I'm thinking it's going to be a short day, let's hold the short. Okay, but there goes Tesla. Wow, what a banger. That was a good look there for Tesla. Good job, Joe. But there it goes, man. Straight upside fire right now in the booth for Tesla. And then we had also Nvidia. That called down to 175. Let's see if that continues to hold it. Amazon seems like they're go. Yes, TQQs, go right now. Amazon just hit the day high. I was momentarily going to short that, and then I was like, well, I'm still on the futures here, so I didn't do it, but there goes Amazon right back into the pre-market highs. I said I liked the short of anything that came up near where we were at that 830 bump on that data dump, so far so good here. And here we go, man. It's an oh boy moment about to happen. Let's see if we can get to the downside right now. And a lot of people talking about weed. Get off the weed right now, or get on it. I mean, there goes Tilray up 5% right now. Nice move there for Tilray as that continues to go higher. Individual stocks are fine, but MSOS gets my eye right there as it's still ticking a little bit higher. Good volume, good spread here on MSOS. Come on, Obi. Let's get to the downside. I know you're on Broadcom right here. Love trading beside you. Let's see what you're going to do right now. I'm short. You're short. Let's see what this market brings. I put all about the shorts, man. It's all about them shorts. Yeah, no longs. Right now, we're going to see here. I'm going to bid 57, see if we get out some more on TQQ. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I think The ES looking a little distinctly different here as it is pulling a little bit more aggressively. Let's see if the Nasdaq catches up here. So yeah, sellers are coming in a little bit now here. Yeah, AVGO holding a little bit above that 345. So yeah, the 345 a little interesting to me. 347s as well, like I mentioned before. Apple breaking its pre-market low, softy as well. Alphabet though catching a little bit of a bid. I don't know if you've seen Alphabet on the higher time frame. That thing is just stair-stepping up higher and higher. Google.
Show everybody.
Yeah, so let's take a quick look at that one here while we see if this market pulls back in a little bit more aggressively as of right now. So Google on, I think it was the monthly or the weekly, man. Absolute strength. We talk about stair-step action. This is definitely a little bit of stair-step action. Okay, so monthly, you can't really see it on the monthly because monthly is straight line up. So let's go to, I think it was a weekly that I was looking at right here. Yeah, right here. Look at that. Stair-stepping, 240s, 250s, a little bit of a wash, stair-step up. 280s, a little bit of a wash, 275s maybe, stair-step up. 320s to 300s, a little bit of a wash. Let's see if we kind of follow and continue in on that pattern and stair-step up once again. 350s potentially if we can keep on going on this one. So absolute strength, very, very healthy action in my opinion here, while the rest of the tech kind of pulls back a little bit more aggressively as well, right? So taking a look at Nvidia, I saw people in the chat as well. They were talking about, oh, have you seen CM, Canadian Bank, strong? And we were talking about how strong the Canadian market is. If you guys have seen the TSX, that's been absolute strength here. I just want to take a look at TD. You guys know TD, Dominion Bank, right here on the weekly. Take a look at the monthly chart. This thing, some of these banks are up more than some of the tech names this year. By a few percent, yes, but definitely I think it's market.
They're up more than almost every tech name you can name, pretty much, like other big ones.
Like RY, take a look at this big stick right here on Royal Bank of Canada. I was looking at the 12-month, again, 12-month charts. I like them just to see how we've been doing. Look at this expansion of these candles here. Absolute strength when it comes to Canadian banks. So yeah, shout out to anybody who's long and strong, pretty much anything in our market.
Okay, yeah, I'm covering a little bit more now, man. I mean, honestly, goal met. Like this move down just happened, man. We shorted the high of the day. We're getting out now at the lows. And I just want to remind everybody in just 30 seconds, we have another data dump. So I guess I'll just cover this here as we're missing Adara today, but you'll be back here tomorrow. So we'll get it on Benzinga. It's the Chicago Flash PMI. So manufacturing coming out right now. We're looking for the number 52 on the manufacturing PMI. We also have services PMI coming out. We're looking here. We're looking for 54 on that. You can go get this from me right here. I'm just reading my own note here. 52, 54. Thanks, Brendo, for putting out the watch list today. So we're going to get these numbers in just a couple of seconds. 52 and 54. Let's see what we're getting right now. And again, you don't want, see, there it is. So nice little move higher. So we're getting 51.8 on manufacturing. So 51.8 versus 52. Services getting 52.9 versus 54. So right now, here is the number for you right now. You know, Adara's job not in risk at all. 52.9 versus 54. That's the USA Global Composite. That just came out. And then this is out right now as well. We get both a little lower than expected. There's the global manufacturing. So we get 51.8 versus 52, a little lower, not going to really move the market. And then we get the global PMI as well, 52.9 versus 54. So a nice little move to the downside right now on the Nasdaq. I'm going to assume your Broadcom's working out. I'm going to put another bid right here at 45. I'm just getting out of now 2% every time. I want to be in this, Obi. I want to be in this for the win. So let's get down to the downside right now. We called this short on the Nasdaq. We called this short all day, baby. We're like Adrian Peterson, man. We're all day. And there it is right here. The short on the ES. Or sorry, on the Nasdaq. There it is, man. Short the TQs right there. Let's see what we can do if we can get anything on there. Thank you for Joseph for spinning that, man. A lot of love on the show here today. 51.50 right now. Watch out for that on the TQs. Let's maybe get a little bit more out right now. All right, this will put me out of, if I get this bid at 47, I'm out at 35%. So we're still going to try to hold, there it is. We're going to hold 2/3 of this trade on the short. You got a good one over there. It looks like you're $3 in the money. Let's go, Obi. And let's see what's going on with AVGO.
Yeah, a little bit of a pullback here. Market tailwind definitely kind of on our side. I have VWAP here at 342.20, so we're kind of chopping in and around that VWAP, so I do have to be a little bit careful here for that chop. You know what? I'm going to say that, I'm just going to kind of come out of it right here and see if we can continue a little bit lower. That's what I'm looking for on AVGO. So sellers were definitely a little dominant there with that market turn. But, you know, things can wipe right back up like they are right now here on AVGO.
Yep.
So a little bit of a chop here on VWAP. Again, do I expect a little bit of liquidity at VWAP? Absolutely, yes. Are we going to get a little bit of, you know, turbulence in and around those areas? If it's there, you do have to kind of respect it as well. What are you holying?
Well, no, it's just sometimes you get caught. Sometimes you get caught thinking one way. Our actual #1 trade idea on the list today was Nvidia long 175. It's just come in there 3 times. Now it's $1.50 to the upside. This should really be where I'm laying today. It should. Anyways, the future is nicely cooking right back to the upside. I'm going to take a little bit more short here because we did cover. That's too bad, man. That's too bad. Ugh. All right, well, whatever. You can't get them both, but I've already explained that the reason why I had them both is I liked them both, so I should have probably been in that Nvidia trade as well. I really hope this doesn't get too nasty because we could be long a hell of a lot of shares down there on Nvidia. Whenever it hits your level and it respects it, it's like that is a definite go zone. We talked about that with my boy Joe over there, and it was, you know, he had seen these bottoms on Tesla, and then it went like right into there. You know, if you're going long 175, man, you only need to give yourselves like 20 cents, you know, worth of room there. And then boom, like you getting now that 8 to 1 or so on that move, right? And so, oh man, that's a monster right there. All right, well, I'm still gonna do my own thing here anyways. And I'm gonna just see, I'm trying to play the short off of those 830 numbers. So we get a little bit more here. Actually, I didn't get as much as I wanted to. We'll take a little bit more here at 52, understanding that there is an upside play potentially coming, and that's 52.40. So that's actually where I'm sitting right here, 52.35, to see if we get something. And then I know I put it up to 70. I don't think we really want to hold it that far. If the market's going to run, why not just be disciplined and get out where we said we would? So what about just getting this out at 50 if we break a little bit above here? I think that's reasonable. I'm actually going to switch. I'm going to switch my stop right now. I hope this doesn't wind up burning me, but even if it does, we can always get back in. So 52.51. We'll get stopped out if it does break there. I just don't want to give it that extra little bit. I'm already feeling some kind of ways missing that Nvidia trade. But, you know, just as Joe had mentioned there, TSLL. And I'm so glad that we got Joe trading similarly to you and I, looking for those bigger trades. Like, there it is, man, 20 to 20.90. We all, like Neil always says, everybody has different styles, but this is what I really like. 20.90 there, nice little base, and look at the move that you can get there on that Tesla trade. And so the same exact thing is happening with Nvidia, where you're getting that bottom wick and then it goes straight there to the upside. We're going to go over to OB and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about some of these trades.
All right, guys, so Beta Pro by Global X. Now for some exciting news out of Canada for the sophisticated traders on the stream. Beta Pro by Global X Canada, Canada's largest provider of leveraged, inverse, and inverse leveraged ETFs, has just launched 6 triple leverage ETFs offering 3 times bull and bear exposure to the S&P, TSX 60, semiconductors, and on U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st of 2025. Plus, the U.S.-focused strategies use currency hedging, offering the potential for pure performance and exposure. If you are a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3xdaily to learn some more. All right, so AVGO kind of coming back here into its VWAP, catching a little bit of a bounce here once again. So, you know, tried it once, tried it twice. If it's gonna not be nice, I do have to kind of respect that action as well. So if we're gonna do a little bit of a bounce off of that, but I'm watching a couple of different time frames here as well. I like to watch the 3-minute. I know a lot of people like the 1 minute or the 2 minute as well. I like the 3 minute, kind of a little bit cleaner. I like to watch the 5 and the 15 as well, and the higher time frames. You guys know I'm all about the higher time frames. What is it doing on the daily? What is it doing on the weekly? This market is ripping up back through its highs as well. So yeah, AVGO, let's see if it can catch a little bit of a bid here, or does it drop back down and are sellers dominant on top of VWAP? You know what? I'm not going to ask too many questions. I'll take that off. Where's the next trade? That's what I'm asking. If you're going to stall on VWAP like that, do a little bit of a double bottom right there in and around, what is that, 342s. I'm going to be a little bit more patient, more than willing to get involved underneath VWAP if it can show that sellers are dominant once again. But if buyers are going to show up, it is a little bit distinctly different than it has been acting over the past couple of days. So got to respect that a little bit here. So what else do we got going on? Oh, wow. Okay, so I was looking at some of these sectors here. So healthcare catching a little bit of a sell off of the open. And right away, I'm going to go take a look at some of these names that have been running pretty aggressively, maybe all-time highs. I know, I don't know what, you know what, UNH, let's see what UNH is up to right here. I know that's kind of been a bit of an interesting one here. But I was looking at, I guess PG is not necessarily a big part of it, but yeah, look at PG. I was looking at this as a multi-day bit of an uptrend here, strong selling off of the open. We know that Lilly was also almost at its highs there, almost all-time highs there, pretty aggressive selling coming in off of the open today as well. Some of these stocks, I was like, okay, let's see. If the market trends up today, do we fade some of these names that have been running while the market has been fading? Or do we do the opposite? And it seems like the opposite is happening here on some of these healthcare stocks. Okay, 342 coming right back in here on AVGO. Does it give us an opportunity to reload underneath the VWAP, or do buyers kind of come in here as well? What is that prior low? I see that 341 to 57. Let's see if we can do anything distinct with that. But 342 was that VWAP a little bit earlier here as well.
Let's go, man. The Nasdaq can put this in its pipe and smoke it. So right now, we are getting to the downside right now on the TQs. So, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. When things actually work out, I want to take a little bit of profit because we are fighting the trend here early as the trend is up. But at the same time, I want to be able to hold on to a little bit. So I actually got out now of almost half of what we had. I put on a much bigger position up here. That's why my average price now is what this is right here. So we almost clear out. I told you we cleared out of about 40% or so. We actually got out a couple more. I was out of 35% there, and then we got a couple more outs as we started to go back to the upside there. I did miss a punch through VWAP, but I wasn't really going to do that anyways, but that could have been an out. And then it comes right in the futures rate. I told you what we were doing. We're shorting this. Yeah, let's go right now, man. Get in that freaking Lambo right now. And let's go, Max. Come back, man. Pick me up, boy. There's a nice move to the downside right now. So we'll get a little bit more here. Come on, 5205s. That's where we're sitting right now. Obi, see if we can get a nice little downside push here on a good size position here on the TQs and the Nasdaq as we go, man. So you've got that Broadcom. We've got this TQQ trade. And we're doing a whole bunch of good times here today. Good vibes all about. Thanks. Obi for coming through again, and we wish Neil a good day off. Nothing's wrong with him. He's just taking the day off, so we'll see him back here tomorrow. There's always, hey, what's going on with PayPal right there?
What is that?
You don't understand what we can do now on the show, do you?
Whoa.
You don't understand we can do this and highlight these things. You don't understand that we can do this, Obi.
Some aura right there.
Yeah, man, aura. Yeah, that's it. My kid said, my daughter said to me yesterday, I have no aura. I said, I have also no idea what that means. So, all right. But I get that it's a bad thing. I'm supposed to have aura, I think. Right there, no, she's just, my daughter is something else. You have no, everybody loves their kids, but she's definitely unique in many, many ways. What a wild spirit she is. But anyways, this is what people want us to talk about. So obviously Tesla's getting hit right now on the note, not getting hit, going to the upside, but people are hitting it right here. Nvidia, SoFi, nice move higher there today, up 2.7% as we keep on talking about the strength in the financials and how much we like those. So we can have a quick look over there. IonQ as well, man, that's up 5.5%. Rich Tech Robotic. I feel like some of these symbols aren't working right now. So shout out to Fabian. I know he's hard at work somewhere, but Dollar Tree right now, AVGO, you're in AVGO, and then Tilray as well. So we'll double check that visualizer and get that going for you again. But yeah, there goes the TQ. So a couple good outs. We talked about why we wanted to get that out. We did have a bigger position, so we want to take some out, but still try to hold out. Remember, we're short here at 35. My stop is at 50. That's 15 cents. So when it came back in and we're able to take 30 cents on a 2-to-1, we're doing that. We could still get stopped out and not turn out to be very good there today. But there's Tesla, man. What a great look that was off that bottom, man. Shout out to my guy Joe with that move. I don't know if he's still in or not. We'll talk to him when he gets back. But still trying to go upside right now is Joe right there. Yo, what's up, Paul? Thank you so much. There's another $10 for my FSD subscription. Okay, I think you might have super chatted as well last week on that. So just to let you know, we don't as individuals get these super chats. It just kind of goes back into the big pot. So we want to thank everybody for that. But hey, on that note, I think it's about time I try FSD. It's $100 a month. My wife drives my car, not often, but like when she wakes up early, takes sometimes Gia to hockey or whatever, she likes it. And she loves even the autopilot that's on there right now, but that's only lane assist.
Okay.
So for free, you can get the Tesla to take you, it'll just stay in the same lane, basically. At stop and go and stop and go, but it won't actually.
So highways, it's great for.
It's great on highways, yeah, not great on urban streets. So, okay, thank you so much, Paul. I'm assuming, Paul, that you have FSD and are a fan. Let me know in the chat who has FSD and if you are a fan or not, because I'm only hearing great things about the full self-drive. And obviously the Tesla position, maybe we'll just sell a couple shares and pay for that. But there it goes, man. We're really liking Tesla here so far today. All right, man, we're back to zeros. I'll add a little bit more here, but I'm not in love with re-adding at the exact same spot when we've just bounced clearly off some support right down here. We didn't even get into 51.80 or so, but we'll put on just a little bit more here because I'm only giving this 15 cents. If it rips the top, it rips the top. I hope some of you took advantage of all of this, and let's see where it goes now on our TQQ trade. So I'll bid out again here in the low 20s. Actually, let's put some on the mid 20s. Let's put like 5% on the mid 20s, 5% on the low 20s. Take a little bit out, be able to capture some of this profit because it does look like we're fighting the trend here. You got out of Broadcom.
I got out because, like, I thought VWAP was a little bit distinct. So yeah, we can talk about potentially why here. Also, Tesla almost coming up to that 480. So yeah, if we do break out of this prior day consolidation where we did attempt to break it a couple of times, 2, 3, maybe even 4 times here. Again, that imbalance yesterday, man, that tripped me out. I saw that 1 billion imbalance. I was like, okay, if this blasts through high a day on that 1 bill, I definitely got long, but they got paired and then flipped as well for a slam right back down into VWAP. That wasn't very nice, but again, attempted to push that 480. I think it is a bit of a significant level here today, creeping right back up into that level. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait to see if we sustain any sort of action above prior day's high. That's coming into 481.76s as of right now. Nice strong trend. Market tailwind is definitely on our side. But let's talk a little bit about AVGO here. So I saw a little bit of stalling happening. So you can see this is the chart right here. We could still technically just come right back down. You can see it is pretty choppy. These are 3-minute candles. So you can see the range on some of these candles. Pretty aggressive here after a strong bid up all the way into 347. So I talked about 347s being a little bit of an area of interest. Why might that be? Because take a look at this. Yesterday on day 2 of selling, that's where we attempted to bounce, but we failed. Guess what? I like the reversions. I was looking at this to see if it actually followed through, but guess what? No follow through. Sellers still dominant in and around this area, slapping it right back down underneath 347. So comes back into that area. Sure, I get involved a little bit early, right? But when it does come in, I'm getting a little bit more aggressive. And VWAP stalling is distinctly different because take a look at this. This is VWAP yesterday, day 2 earnings. Nowhere near it other than off of the open and maybe in the pre-market. Day 1 earnings, nowhere near it other than the open and in the pre-market. So we had extension away from VWAP. So sellers were very, very dominant. No bounce coming in, but the bounce, I guess, a little bit coming in on the day today, but sellers stepping in at a place where they were yesterday and kind of showed, maybe if you want to call it, showed their hand. So consolidation, I'm going to wait and see, do we come back in? We've already retraced, again, without even measuring it, bit of an eyeball. I would say this is not 50%, but I'd say about a 30% retracement there. So reversion to VWAP kind of working out as of right now here on AVGO while the market blasts up to this high. So it might take a little bit more for AVGO to kind of reclaim. I think that if the market continues to stay strong and the chips stay strong as well, maybe we do see those 347s. Maybe we see a 350. I have no idea. I'm just trying to, dance with the price action here. So if you're going to stall and hold the bid around 342s, 341s, what have you, I do want to be a little bit nimble there. And you can see the execution is definitely very, very telling there. Mac22, thank you for the super chat here, saying Alphabet. Let's take a quick look at Google here. Google, what are you up to? Wow, yeah, that's some strength there as well. So the market bidding up pretty aggressively here. Look at that, 303.09s breaking through pre-market highs. And we just talked about Google, how strong it is on the monthly, on the weekly, in that stair-step fashion. And it's showing some more of that strength. Again, market tailwind, of course, is definitely giving it a helping hand. What are you guys trading? I want to know, but we'll be right back with Happening Now with Sia.
Hi guys, good morning. So let's quickly talk about the economic releases. The business inventories number came out just right now at 10 a.m. today with they have remained unchanged month over month as of August this year, but the forecasted number standing at 0.3% compared to its previous release, which was flat at 0%. And today the number came out at 0.2%, which is a little bit of an increase, 0.1% more than its forecasted number. Also, the non-farm payrolls came out for October and November. October was a negative 105,000 and November stands at 64,000. The unemployment rate also came out at 8:30 a.m. this morning. The number came out at 0.2% higher than last time, which was at 4.4% and now stands at 4.6%. Let's also quickly take a look at some news this morning. Elon Musk's net worth hit $600 billion. And Musk had already surpassed $500 billion in net worth this October, making it, which by the way has now risen by $168 billion, making it $677 billion as of yesterday, according to Forbes. He will be the first person to have a net worth of $600 billion in the world. And additionally, SpaceX has also reported that it will be very likely be going public at an $800 billion valuation. Pfizer also has announced its revised revenue guidance as of this morning and now expects $62 billion in revenue this year. The company announced that the stock was not doing the greatest, was flat since January. However, it was up in the pre-market by 1% today. And the revenue should come at a lower guidance than what it expected as of this year. But next year would be a lesser revenue expectation than compared to this year. And that's all for today. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Sia. Good little update right there. Shout out to Sia. Glad she's feeling better and back in the building. Okay, man. It's glizzy time. Right there, you know. Not the most healthiest food, of course, but there you go. We fired off the hot dog cannons.
My favorite foods.
It's one of your favorite foods?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but burgers, though, burgers. We still got to go to Cabanos.
Cabanos? Dude.
1 point, man. I mean, it's
Yo,
like,
that place
I feel
is
really ridiculous. You keep
solid.
on recommending it, and we keep on saying like how solid it is.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to go there. But yeah, okay. So just real quickly, man, you can fire off the hot dog cannons as much as you want, but you got to take profits where they lie. So you know, we almost did get stopped out there trying to break through 52.50. We only get to 52.51, which was almost our stop out zone there. We're at 56s, just a little bit of a break higher on that one. So we average it in, took the money back in right there, and have made a little bit of money on this trade, needless to say, but we'll try to keep everything in the pocket and just act like we've done this before.
Look at this thing go. Tilray?
Yeah, man. Have I seen Tilray? Right there. You know, your mind may be a little foggy if you're on the product, but Tilray right here is providing very much clarity to the upside as this one just keeps on going right there. Yeah, it's gone. So there goes Tilray, man, up 16%. Those of you that were like, yo, look at the weed names. Congratulations, you are. Awesome. Because it's a monster play right there, right back upside. But the reason why we want to talk about this is real quick. A, it's moving, so it's always good to talk about stocks that are moving. And B, look what level we're at, man. We're right back to where we were just a couple days ago on Tilray. So we are looking for some excitement in the name. It got it. But also potentially, Obi, I know you like the reversions.
Yeah,
this is.
I'm already queued up.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm already like, I know what Obi's thinking right now.
Is this a little too far, too fast? I don't know.
Yeah. So there it goes, and let's check out MSOS as well here on the marijuana stack. Yeah, that's also up there as well. So cannabis names, they're starting to go back up there to the upside as we be very, very careful here. As we say, like with all of these positions, right? You never know where the market's going to take you. And it looks like for right now,
You need borrows?
some of these marijuana names just continue to go there to the upside. So yeah, what's up, man? You guys let us know what you want to talk about right here. Palantir. Okay, it doesn't get much easier than that one when they just ask for PLTR, and we'll try to oblige with that one. So let's go over here, PLTR, have a quick little look. Oops, NQ. Of course, Palantir was once a Nasdaq name. No longer, of course, or once a New York name, now a Nasdaq name. Wow, yeah, Palantir going as well. I sold some of my PLTR, of course, at 175 like a fool, but nice move there for Palantir. And very similar, man. And my guy Joe is back in the building, man. That was a great call there on Tesla. We had a great call on Nvidia as well earlier. But of course, we only wrote down 175 as our #1 trade idea right there. But we could have had both, man. We should have had the future short and the Nvidia long, but we do not. So Palantir. I'm always, look, it doesn't really get on my radar unless there's kind of a story. We hit Palantir pretty good. I don't think it was yesterday, maybe been a couple days ago. Really like the stock, obviously, as we continue to hold Palantir, and it's been a money-making opportunity for me in the long-term portfolio. But again, a little nervous about what to look forward to next year for PLTR, but interesting spot, man. Thank you guys for bringing that up, and thank you again for that super chat, because look where we're at again here. You know, it's why I'm short the NASDAQ. We're taking profit now because the NASDAQ it's not going to be a short today, man. Tesla's ripping, Nvidia's ripping, Palantir's ripping. Broadcom sort of reversed on you a little bit there. I don't know what it's doing now, but this is a nice level for PLTR. Like, if we can get above this 188, man, it could be clear skies as we take out some weak levels. So weekly levels, not weak levels, but nice move up there for PLTR. So congratulations to anybody that does have that on board there again. So yeah, we'll give back some of our day here, just unrealized profit as we get all the way back up to the upside. The good part about it is we only have about 40% left or so. We put on a big trade. Like, it was a bigger position. We're always holding for that break, but when you come back down like that, man, you got to take some outs. So, you know, we did take it, and, you know, woe is me if this continues to tank, but I'm not going to reload. There we go. It gets him out there at 35s. I'm not going to reload this thing right now. It looks way too strong. We've now bounced off VWAP right there. We actually held VWAP pretty good here, to be honest with you. Although this was the low of the day, there wasn't much volume down there at all, so it was just kind of drifting. I would have liked to see it try to push that low. We didn't get that action. It's actually really low bars down here on volume. The real volume's coming on the green side, the spikes up. So let's understand that and take a little bit of advantage of that and see if we can make some money on the short, but maybe not for a very long time. Tesla, AMCI. AMCI is getting a lot of love, so I'm not sure there. We'll throw it back over. Maybe we'll ask Sia to look up some news on AMCI. There, if you have any stories on this one, because it halted once and twice and now up 95. Okay, I got to take a little bit of advantage of this move down. We just ticked into the teens again, Obi. So I'm going to put a bid here at 18. Bang, right there. Let's take this to some more profits here on our good friend, the NASDAQ right here, trading it through the product of TQQ. I get in trouble sometimes. Oh, there we go. Give me those 11s. I get in trouble sometimes calling the TQQs the futures.
I mean, you know, they're
I know, but I try to do the best for these viewers. Give me a hard time right there. But here's a move down, back in now. We've met our sort of goal right here, but I'm going to start to take another piece out. We just get another piece out. So right now I'm holding about 25% of my original position. Obi,
yes, sir.
Let's let it ride.
Yeah, of course.
Let's see what happens here for the rest of the day.
What happens there? I did try that Tesla, kept it pretty tight there. That prior day high did come in. You guys saw in the morning. I did put that alert up on there. So let's see. Let's see if we wash that 480 a little bit. Kind of missed out on this AVGO. Did continue with the market pullback and broke that consolidation low. We did break below that 342, pulling back in at 339s right now here. So a little bit of a sell-off. Let's see where we kind of stop here. Let's see if Tesla can catch a higher low somewhere around here.
Oh boy.
So we're actually going to break out through that level as of right now, but a bit of a failed follow through of that high. I'm looking at it, and my reversion senses are maybe tingling up there, maybe up in the 480 halves, but 478 halves a little too late for me here. I might be looking for a little bit of a higher low or a lower high. I don't know. Let's see what it's going to do. Does the market wipe it all back? I have no idea. 340s here on AVGO. Let me know what you guys are trading here as well.
Get it.
And yeah, there's okay, some selling coming in, man. There it is. Nice, great trading.
What am I doing? Yeah, but we just got out at VWAP right there a little bit, man. We're just having a good time. Sia, let me know if and when, or let Andre know when is a throw, maybe, if you have anything on AMCI there. What's up, Fabian? Right now, did Fabian just message me? What do you got for me here, Fabian? Oh no, nothing's broken here. I'll show you here. Fabian wants to know what's going on with the thing here. It was showing some stocks. See, like right here, Fabian, Dollar Tree zeros, Rich Tech Robotics zeros. So I just wanted to highlight that some of them are coming up as zeros. So I just didn't know about that. That's all. Circle, we know, is moving around. Let's look at Circle. Actually, tomorrow we have the big IPO. Oh, that's by design. Oh, okay. All right. So he's going to get that figured out. And it's not a high called up. Yeah, okay, we'll get it. Yeah, it's a data issue, so we'll talk about that in a couple seconds. I just want to say Circle right now, if you guys want to talk about it. We do have Medline tomorrow, and that is coming with $6 billion worth of stock. No, sorry, $6 billion valuation, right? But was that what it was, or is that the number that you gave? The
$6 billion off, like that's.
So that's how much they're offering.
Yeah.
So that's not the value of the company there. $6 billion on offer there tomorrow for Medline. So Circle's had a bad time of it this year as far as an IPO is concerned. Huge move to the downside for Circle, but this is the thing. This is what we're talking about. You can get a good. Let's go TQs, man. You can get a bump early. So if the business is worth it, man, I expect everybody tonight, especially if you're into IPOs, and I'm going to do it myself, look up Medline, see what's going on there, do enough research, because there's a lot of money to be made in the first couple weeks of an IPO, and then generally speaking, you will get hit after that as it sort of gets assessed. Not all the time, some IPOs go one way, right? But look at StubHub, that came out at $25 or so, I believe. And now it's down to 12. So StubHub's in the one its best day was its birthday. And I remember we actually went long on this name and got out real early. It was actually somewhat of a profitable trade, not a huge one. And then it just faded, and it's just been getting hit this whole time. And yesterday we had some big moves in CoreWeave as well. That was down 7 or 8%. So this was another name that had a great, let's call it, couple months on CoreWeave. And then it just got hit like really badly down now to the downside, to the point where we're almost back to their $40 sort of IPO area as well. So look at CoreWeave, man. What a move. Opens up there $40. It was part of the year of AI. I don't know what year that was, but I'm going to say 2025. AI has been a thing for a minute. But, that ChatGPT thing, I think was just the beginning of 24 or 23 when Microsoft dumped some money into OpenAI, which started the whole thing. So we're still very early in all of that. But CoreWeave came out with a lot of love, and now it's getting hit. Look out for CoreWeave to break through this $66 mark as we continue to get a little bit lower as well. So, all right. Nice move to the downside there on CoreWeave. We're still waiting to see if the futures want to do anything. Here, I'm going to take another bid because, look, we're just bouncing off VWAP again. So if I look back and this thing all of a sudden turns out to be a negative trade for me, I'll be upset. So we're going to cover some more fills right now down here at VWAP, at the 50-period moving average, and just stick to our guns here and do what we do best, and that is trade off some key levels. And, man, there was no more of a key level than 175 that we posted up there on our note, and we did not have it. Here it is right here, 175. I put this out every single day. It's our sticky note. There's a TQQ short, so that to me is everything. We've had our daily goal just on this one trade, but how many days will we hit if we had that Nvidia trade? And then we wanted to see about Bitcoin was my next sort of look there today for the short on BTCC. Oh, I posted this up, Joe, look at this. These are two houses in Alberta, and every year, man, they join their backyards to build this thing. So how awesome is that, man? Take down that fence, man. Put a little, I mean, these houses are like matchsticks in here. It's all close together. But look at that, man. You talk about who would be my friend in the neighborhood. This guy right here, man. Like, or if not, man, just hop the fence overnight. But awesome, and they even have lights here and everything. This looks pretty cool. So shout out there to Red Deer, Alberta, doing the best for their kids. And of course, here in Canada, that's a very popular thing to do. Build backdoor. We call them ODRs.
Yeah, what was that?
Outdoor rink.
Oh, okay.
So you say to your friends, I'll meet you at the ODR. There he is. Joe. Is your mic turned on? I don't hear you. There it goes.
We're definitely on, brother. Yeah.
There it is.
Hey, love what goes on at the outdoor rings, pickup hockey and everything.
Yeah.
That's honestly, that's where you find a lot of the skilled kids, and that's where you build a lot of your skill.
Right.
Casino Man is at those outdoor rinks. So
And what is that kind of hockey called?
shinny, baby.
Oh!
King.
Oh.
Shimmy?
Shimmy. Yeah, you know, like shimmy dancing?
Oh, okay.
No, shinny with an N. Yeah, shinny. Because you got to watch your shins. No, seriously, that's why it's called that. Because kids.
No gear.
Yeah, because kids get together, and the rule, generally speaking, probably not when Joe plays, is no slap shots.
Okay.
You know, no raising the puck. Like, you could slap it, like, no trying to raise it too high. It's kids get together shinny. You bring your stick, you bring your gloves, mostly, you know, and then, because it's freezing cold outside, skates. Shinny, right there. Where's that more you know thing, man? If I had that thing, the more you know.
That makes sense. I mean,
TraderTV.Live.
growing up, I mean, didn't play too much ice hockey, but definitely basketball. Some of the best players are on those pickup games.
Yeah. Street ball over there.
Street ball, straight up.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, 100%. So that's where often, just like all sports, it's very structured when you get as a team. So it's nice to free ball it there.
Selling coming in.
Yeah, man.
What was the reversion?
I mean, there it is, man. There's the move to the downside right there on the TQQ. So we've got it, and we got it good. If you understood that in the beginning, then you would have had a decent short with me, but I don't know. We'll see what happens now. Good trade there on the TQs. Pretty proud of it, obviously. All right, Tilray still holding out right there as well. So if you want to puff past one of those, you can get a quick check over there. Alibaba with the move down. What else do we want to talk about there? I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. That's actually what I wanted to show. BMNR, I'm hearing halted. Is there something going on with BMNR? We'll take a look at that real quickly. Or I have the wrong stock right there. No, it must not be BMNR. I just heard stock up 100%. Hit the like button right now, man. We have 8,000 of you watching, which is a little light, to be honest with you. 900 likes. Get that like button going right here. See if we can get over 1,000 right now. Shout out to my guy, Obi. Neil will be back tomorrow. Should have a lot of fun on that one. But here we go, man. We're almost $1 now in the money, as we still got about 20 to 25% of that. We'll take another out. Hey, man, this is the way I trade. I wish I would have been able to hold this all the way to the downside. My net would be 3x what we have right now, but that's something I got to work on. What's the one thing that you think you have to work on the most?
I think for me, my biggest thing, what I'm realizing right now is when opportunity shows up, real-time assessment of the value of that opportunity. So we talk about like different kinds of bet sizing, right? If a trade shows up, am I able to recognize right away that this deserves, B plus, C plus, or A right away, and then actually execute on that effectively? I think that's something that I do have to work on, because what I'm realizing is like I'm kind of not grading some of the things real time as much, and I like to trade a lot of price action as well. Sure, we have structured trades, playbook trades that do show up, but sometimes when I'm trading price action, I'm just like, okay, this structure break, how much is this more valued versus a different one here as well? For example, like this AVGO, yes, I'm getting into a lot more when the right side of the V does come in here, but is it enough of a lot more, right? That's the real question there. So I think kind of a real-time assessment of that, and then actually executing in and around that. I think that's a big thing for me. But yeah, that's
yeah, same. I mean, my big thing is just too many outs. But it's been working out, and that's how I sort of justify taking a little bit more shares with tighter stops, is because on the way down. So I always think there's multiple ways, and I hate this terminology, especially because I just got a brand new cat, but there's many ways to skin a cat. Oh, yeah. And it's just like, you can either, in my opinion, because we all trade here on a prop floor, and those of you that trade on prop floors, you're trading someone else's money, which is fine, but it's just about the leverage, and you do have risk parameters that you have to abide by. Although my shutdown is, I haven't been shut down since we even started the show, not even once. But the idea is that at certain levels, when it's hit, you can get shut down, and you have to respect your risk parameters. So like I just, up here, if you take, let's just say 10,000 shares and your stop is 20 pennies, well, that's $2,000. So like if that does happen, you're out $2,000 right there and done for the day. So I don't have 10,000 shares, but I was just saying, like, if you did do that, and all of a sudden that 10,000 shares is now 10 cents in the money, that's $1,000. So right there, you've made half of what your shutdown is in one trade to the downside, let alone now being in the money 83 cents. So now that we're in the money 83 cents, Obi, my stop on here is 50. As I told you, it's 56. I can show it to you right now. My stop here was 10 cents higher. Make 80 cents. So that's why when it starts to come down, I start to be like, okay, man, I better just take this out because if it blows the top, I'll turn red. So let's get it out on the downside and hopefully have enough for this runner, and we do there today. So again, let us know, Sia, if you're finding, I don't know exactly the role that you're playing back there, but oh, you're not even back there. Hi, Sia, over at your desk, not at the desk back there. I was just gonna say, if there's any breaking news, Obi and I will do our best to get that to you ASAP. Sia will be back with some updates and whatnot on the broader market and like our Money Talk segment and things like that, as far as I know. Yeah, she's messaging me right now, laughing at me. So thanks, Sia, for that. I'm just trying my best. You know, Obi?
Sorry,
we get shrapnel from all ends of these things.
I mean,
you know,
here's the thing.
This girl just started to work
being a trader, you gotta know how to take a hit. You know this.
Yeah, I've been here 25 years and I'm getting
hits all day, every day. It's all good.
All right.
Gotta be the one. Gotta be like Neo. You know, do a little bit of the. All right.
Oh,
anyway,
Neo.
475. 475 is coming in here on Tesla. So we did pull back pretty aggressively. So there it was. I was even thinking about it. I was like, what's the likelihood we false break? How am I chasing this 480s? I did get a little, you know, too excited about that push. It doesn't come in. But the beautiful reversion coming right back in. You can see. I asked the question. I was like, yo, what's the likelihood we wipe right back? And guess what? We're doing that right now. So wiping right back in to some of those opening range prices here, both on the Nasdaq and the ES right now. So let's take a quick look at the Mag 7.
Let's go.
Tesla, about a 50% pullback. That's what we just talked about. Amazon still hasn't broken its day low, but we talked about where Amazon is on the higher time frame, and it's still kind of knocking around. It's holding that. It's in and around 222 here as of right now on Amazon. So if you guys take a look at a higher time frame, then you'll see that that's the opening price. So yeah, Amazon, a bit of a key level as the market pulls back in, holding its own.
Yeah, man, we are now short this market pretty heavily and it going to the downside. That's nice. Guys, check out BTCC. They're a top 30 globally exchange, and they have never been hacked. There's been other exchanges with issues, not these guys. There's also zero KYC if you're interested. Sorry, if you're in the US, Canada, or Europe. Through Trader TV, you also get 15% back in USDT coupons for registering, plus up to $100, plus you get a 15% bonus as well that covers your losses up to $15,000. So right there, if you're taking some risks in the crypto space, grab that 15% back, man, if you lose. I think that's a great opportunity to do that. Scan that QR code right there, register, let them know you're coming from the best, absolutely the best trading show around, man. Our trading idea number 2, short the market. That's starting to pay off right there as we get back to the low side of this trade. Happy days are here once again.
I like your song.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. That was a really bad. All right, so my kids lately, they're at, I don't know about the love for Roblox lately in my family, to be honest with you. It seems to be getting passed by YouTube, by shorts. My son is playing, he's big into video games. I'll get the one that he's playing right now. You probably know it. I'll try to think about what it is. But big into there. Oh, I got him. He's in school, so this doesn't matter. I told this to Neil yesterday. A $200 Razer Viper V3 Pro mouse. Okay, good. So I did good there. It was on sale at Best Buy. So I didn't realize you could buy a mouse for $200, but it was $239. So it's like a sucker like me. You get those discounts, you snap right into it. But I don't know, he doesn't ask for much. Yeah. And so yeah, so we wound up doing that. So shout out to Best Buy, and look at this, Obi. Shout out to the damn futures as we just continue to go. It's in a club right now, and it's a club that we all like to go to every once in a while. I like to go to there every day if possible. It is your dollar club right there, man. We just absolutely nailed this trade on the TQs. I mean, I do wish that we would have had this, you know, a little bit more shares involved here, but we still do have about just a little bit over 10%, but it's getting a little lighter. But oh man, how do we do that? Somebody message me at Trader TV, Sean. How do I? What's up, Mike P. DeRider? We're in the building every day, my guy. It's just a matter of how do we hold this for more? I gotta do better on that as we go the top to the bottom right there on the TQs. And the thing is, all I've been doing is spitting short out this whole time, man. I only have one trade on today, and there it goes, man. It's the Nasdaq, and it's cruising to the lows of the day right now. And it's just like, honestly, we've talked about playing off these numbers. We've seen it numerous times where, you know, the market comes out, blasts to the high side, pulls back, retests. Well, let's go right there, man. Good day over here today. So let's just keep on going and looking at more. I'm assuming that we've had good pullbacks in stocks like, holy.
Oh, look at that.
Give me some love, Palantir, man. There is no bid at all. That is now, Obi, since 10:07, you're 20 minutes of no green candles on PLTR. Alex Karp, man, throw the man a life jacket right here. This is getting lower and lower and lower here goes Palantir. One man that does not need a life jacket unless it's covered in billion-dollar bills is Elon Musk. I mean, this Tesla coming right back in here into 473. And by the way, shout out to Zimbabwe. I think they do have a billion-dollar bill there. But right into 473 now, all the way back to the 200-period moving average, potentially a long developing here right now for Tesla as it's made its way all the way back.
Yeah, everything's kind of pulling in pretty aggressively here. You can see that not only do we break the opening range lows here on the 15-minute on the ES, we're slamming down even harder to some of these pre-market levels there. I'm trying to catch bounces here on Tesla. That's not coming in here so at all. So no strength. Tesla was showing some relative strength a little bit earlier, but coming in pretty hot with the rest of the market. Here comes that level on Amazon. Do we bounce here again off of triple twos? I have no idea. Let's take a quick look.
Just quickly, Obi, we just took $1 on Tesla while you were talking. So there it is, man. We are now in this name at 473. It's $1 in the money. Pass back to you. Baton right.
Oh, I like that. I mean, I'm trying it in and around here as well, Sean. So what was the thing I was going to talk about right here? Let's pull that up. Wow, Google as well back into VWAP. Amazon was the one right here. So coming into its yearly open. So let's take a quick look at that here.
Oh boy.
12-month chart. Let's see that specifically. The open. See that? 22203. So going back down to a shorter time frame. Let's just go to a 1 minute. You can see here. 22192. So we're holding that pretty well. So it seems like Amazon's been defending that yearly open pretty decently as of right now. So let's wait and see. Is this the indicator we need for the market bounce? I see that Tesla's working out really well. I might be joining you in this one pretty soon.
We're already $1.80 in the money. So yeah, so far so good on that one as we turn bearish. Bullish. There we go. Yes, man, this is now $2 in the money here on Tesla. What are we even doing over here? This has been so far so good, and I am taking advantage of everything here. We're getting out some more here on the TQQs. All right, I've been calling her uselessly for a very long time, but now she is back with, what are we doing here? Market watch, sector watch. Let's go with sector watch right now with Sia, possibly wrong. Let's throw it back.
Almost right. We're going with a small cap update right now. So let's quickly talk about AMCI. AMCI has been extremely volatile with a recent inter-trade day move of more than 130%, which is driven by interest around its AI and its automation. We're also going to take a look at VERO, Venus Concept, under pressure after reporting the Q3 2025 revenue of about $13.8 million, which is down 8% over year and continuing to post sizable net losses. And let's also take a quick look at ASNS. Recently implemented a 1-4-10 reverse stock split, and as of December 9th, has also regained compliance with Nasdaq's $1 minimum bid requirement. And the company has been raising capital via private placements and warrant exercises. And the management is also guiding for a 15 to 20% annualized operating expense reduction from a restructuring that could show up starting the end of the fourth quarter of 2025 or going early into 2026. That's all. Back to the guys.
Yeah, this Tesla is definitely bouncing here. 475. So yeah, I tried it a couple of times. Is again, tape a little bit, maybe a little bit telling, kind of slowing down to that buying there. but again, timing a little off on my part there. But coming right back through VWAP, can we hold this VWAP? Can we hold and sustain above 475? That's what I'm asking. If we're not going to be able to do that, then maybe we do continue the trek down. We can see that this end of candle action here on both the ES and the Nasdaq, bit of a bottom wick happening as of right now. So does that buying follow through into the next candle? That's what I'm asking. Do we get a little bit of green? Amazon, guess what? We bounced off of that 222. So that defense definitely happening pretty nicely here when it comes to that level on Amazon. Pretty important, I say. People like to interact and transact around opening and closing prices. Open and close of the year could be very distinct as well, right? So that's, again, the chart is showing that that level is being defended. And once again, even through that market quadunk, we hold that 222 pretty well here on Amazon. So could be distinct going forward. I don't know.
So we actually, like I said, I was talking about the different strategies about getting out some on the way up and then not holding enough for the win and this and that and yada yada. When this happens and we pull back and like it just did go down into 473 there, we could have reloaded it. But by getting out, like I'm already out of 70% of this trade. We actually get a 475.50 fill. That was a bigger piece right there. So we were actually out of about 25%, then like another 30 or 40% right there at 475.50. And then I just took another out right here at 87s again. So now we only have 30% left of this trade right now on Tesla. So I'll pull back in. We'll try it again if we can get it, but not necessarily thinking that this is like the be-all, end-all of trading here. So we're going to wait to see what Tesla winds up giving us right now. But we see that obviously Obi's in, so we'd like to see that as well, as both of us sort of always good to have similar ideas. But I'm going to wait to see how much higher we can go, even on this 30%. I have no more offers out there. I'm thinking 478. All right. So normally let's actually
485s.
485, yeah, good call there. I like that one there. Obi going a little higher there. Have higher expectations, I guess. But I'm going to sit with this right here, man. I'm going to see if we can get this 476, respect the 50-period moving average, and then Obi when moon after that. 476.40. We'll put an offer there, see if we can jump that and get higher on TSLA. And, while all this was happening, we didn't get out of any Qs except for down into there. So we'll wait. I mean, we just bounced off VWAP, possible reload spot, but not for me. It's 1033 right now. So, in having the good feels, yesterday we put on a trade and we actually weren't able to go to the gym because we had to watch it. We were short the TQs yesterday at lunch as well. So today I want to get going there. This is what happened. We shorted this area just before we left, and then we had to play off that 200, and we had that short. So it was well worth it that we were able to do that. But here today, let's just wait if there is going to be a little bit of a pullback. We are now coming back into this area. So I'm going to put a bid right now here at 51.50, see if we can capture a little bit of this move back in, and then we'll get ready, man. 25 minutes until we go over to the midday show as well. There was a stock that kept on halting there today, and it was VMAR. So I kept on thinking it was BMNR, but it's VMAR.
So it wasn't BMNR.
No, because Bitminer is not going to halt the BMNR.
I was like, wow, that thing's...
Actually, I shouldn't say that it did. It halted recently, just on, I think it was either news or something like that, but this is VMAR. So this name from 35 cents up to $1, now halting down. Its tap rate here is 73 cents. So we'll see when that opens up. Sorry, 72.50 on the cent side of things. And then Riley as well. Didn't Riley Automotive or something, didn't they get Riley Financial, sorry? Yeah, they've had a kind of an interesting year, I believe, this name. So they're up 30% right here today, Riley. So another mover there today. It looks like we maybe got a halt on this name, but from yesterday, $33.60 up to $4.60. Yeah, this name has been wild movement on Riley. So we'll have to wait to see. It was this break right there. We had talked about this. This reminded me of Intel as it barcoded basically at the lows, and then there's the pop and the break higher. So this name does have the pedigree to do moves like this. So watch out here for Riley Financial. And then because we didn't go over the sector watch, Obi, let's do a little bit of a sector watch right now. Are you in anything? Okay, me and you were just in Tesla. So let's, oh, see, are you doing a sector watch soon? Okay, I think she said yes. All right, so financials right here. We're going to go over just real quickly. JP Morgan downside. You know, what is standing out? Let's have a look at that. How about IBM right now, down 2%? That's going to be a good name. They had recently bought out another name there. Not Celestial AI, that was Marvell. They bought CBLT, I think Confluent. There, so CFLT. IBM down 2%. We could definitely have a look over there as well, but we'll leave the sector watch. C is going to come with that. IBM right now, International Business Machines. Of course, another stock that I really like, man. You want to talk about a quantum name that, you know, isn't like the rest. These guys make money. Quantum's obviously not their main business, but something that they've been working on forever. AI, we don't have to tell you about Watson, one of the original AIs brought to you by IBM, shown off on Jeopardy about 15 or 20 years ago. Watson?
What was that about? Yeah.
You don't know Watson?
No, I don't know Watson.
Yeah, it was on Jeopardy. Watson, the AI, was going against whomever, like some of the biggest guys there. I forget what that guy that won like 1,000 shows in a row there. But anyways, yeah, Watson. Look it up.
Yeah.
But interesting to see that episode again, just to see what exactly.
I like Jeopardy. I think it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay, I'm surprised you don't know about that one though. But anyways, here comes down the TQs. We're waiting for 51.20 now. I'm not sure about this Tesla anymore. It's still in the money 50 cents, but did just bounce off VWAP there, Obi.
Yeah, a little bit of a, like it's consolidating in and around VWAP. While the market's kind of, it just went green to red on this 15-minute candle here as well. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what's the likelihood of us pulling a little bit lower here? Yeah, it's coming. There it is, right there. So coming in pretty decently back into prior structure. So I want to stay away from that one for now. Where's the next trade? That's what I'm looking for. All right, let's take a quick look around here. Roku. Let's go over some of the names we were looking at during the rundown as well. So Roku, what has Roku done? I know that I remember you were like, oh, that 110 level, you really like that one to see if that kind of holds or fails. Guess what? That fail was pretty nice for the short, and that dropped it all the way down to 106.47. On the day there. So a little bit of a bounce here back to 108s, but Roku through that 110, I guess that 110, if you were looking at it, you can see it tried to hold. A little bit of an attempt here, might have gotten you a little bit longer, but you can see extension from VWAP, can't really make it past 11s, breaks back below 10s, breaks back below 9s, and then goes all the way down to 106s. So nice little follow through happening there on that one. Let me know in the chat, what are you guys trading? Tilray. Yeah, I know. We were looking at MSOS as well.
You like the back end of that one?
Look at that. So here's the thing. When we were up here, I tried to punch short. I think we need borrows for this one. But yeah,
do you want them?
No, I think I'm good now. I think the trade was here when I liked it. It came all the way into VWAP, and then now taking a little bit of a bounce, showing us some strength at the same time. MSOS kind of choppy, not as clean as Tilray here. So I think Tilray definitely a little bit better of a vehicle when it comes to that. As of right now, it seems like XLV continues to sell off here, XLE as well. So energy sector might be taking a little bit of a pullback now, alongside the rest of the market here as well. So a lot of tech selling. Let's take a look at what was Micron. Micron as well, man. Micron's been pretty interesting over the past few days. Some distinct selling. That 250 couldn't really make it. It seems like we're continuing to make some legs to the downside as of right now. All right, what are you guys saying?
We just missed 474. So I'm going to take a little bit out at 474. I just wanted to tell everybody that. Back up to VWAP. I'll take $1. I know you're going to, oh, you're out of Tesla. Okay. Yeah, I just was going to say that if it does come back up to that level right there, I am going to take another piece out there at 4. So I'm right here at 474 now. It's kind of bouncing off of me now. So I'm, oh man, 90, okay, there you go. So we got another piece out there. So I only have 20%. Now I'm going to cancel that 476 and see if it does go higher. I just wanted to put this up right here. There was a time that I was shut down, actually. Wow, I cannot believe you've been here for that long, Lyndon Meyer here. So one day on AMC, you see where it says I was down 1K?
2Ks there.
Was there 2Ks? I was down $10 million and shut down. And I was just like, what?
That can happen.
I was like, what have I done? You know, but again, that all gets corrected, thank God. So what it wound up happening was a stock, AMC was halted. I was in it. Let's just say I was short 1,000 shares or something like that. Anyways, what wound up happening with our system is what's supposed to happen when a stock is halted, the stock gets locked, basically, and that's what's supposed to happen. You're not supposed to be able to get in or out of any positions. You wait for it to open up so that the broader market can open up, and then you deal with whatever your fate is on the opening print. The problem was, I guess, our system that day or something, I'm not, because I think I was one of the only ones this happened to. I had a stop order out because obviously I'm in position, so I want to stop out. And there was a trigger higher on like a dark pool or something that happened either just as it halted or a second after it halted. Yeah. Anyways, the trigger was like a couple bucks higher, which obviously got me out of my position, and it marketed me out of absolutely everything. And it gave me, like, let's just say AMC was at $3 or something. You know, I wound up getting out of those 1,000 shares at like $300 or something because couldn't find liquidity. Yeah. Anyways, my shutdown was then triggered, and it was corrected the very next day. So, you know, we didn't have to really suffer through anything, but yeah, that was very, very scary.
A little bit of a heart attack there.
Yeah, I was just like, I immediately called the wife and I said, I love you and everything like that. And I may have to get,
like, we need to leave the country.
We may
book those tickets.
Yeah, it was more like, what's the status of the passport? There was things like that that was going through there. But yeah, exactly. We're heading for the hills on that one. But no, so that got corrected. And it's just like that sometimes will happen. It's a bad print. So that day, yes, you are 100% right. That is the one day that I was shut down. And I actually have a picture of it.
System error, though.
I actually tweeted it out. So system error, yeah. So it actually opened up to be a winner, which was part of the problem. And I didn't get to capture it because I was shut down. So anyways, at the end of the day, those things happened, and that was a funny time. So thank you for discussing that. I didn't mean to get involved with your Palantir talk there, but
I think that's
sometimes people like these little stories.
That's a great story. I mean,
I'll see if I can find it because I did tweet out my blotter that day, which showed minus $10 million. Yeah,
no, that would definitely give me a little bit of a panic there. Yeah, no, sometimes
it was not well received.
Those halts can be a little finicky with the risk.
I remember sitting here and I was like, Neil, you have to take over. You know, it's not like you know. I need to figure this out.
Yeah, you know, no, I mean, that's real because you got to remember at the end of the day you're doing this live and putting on some real risks. So when you know things hit the fan, things can get a little serious. But yeah, that is what it is. Yeah. Palantir though. Bit of a reversion. That was pretty nice here, holding underneath VWAP. Market's also holding with a strong sell as well. But things are consolidating now. So that selling kind of slowed down. You can see here Tesla still holding in and around that 475, 474s as well. Amazon still holding that 222. That might be the trade today because if players are going to play defense in and around that 222, I'm thinking I got to be involved every single time that happens until it stops happening. Apple as well, pretty consolidative as of right now. So not really watching too much else. You can see AVGO, that was the reversion right here. VWAP continuation, that was nice. Retest of VWAP, 340s, 341s, that's been nice. Seems like sellers are back in on this name. We did attempt to break that prior day low right here, right off of the open, but strong bid action right there, wiping it right back. But coming in, sellers stepping right back in at a prior structure from yesterday. So it's been pretty nice here on AVGO. Could have definitely done a little bit better in terms of execution. But again, that is the work in progress. All right, so let's see. You guys also mentioned GME. I know that was moving yesterday and a little bit of an interest, but here's the thing, man. Is it doing relative volume? That's my question. Sure, it has the move, but take a look at this. It's doing 1 times the relative volume yesterday. Today, doing 1/2 times relative volume. Not really interesting to me when it's doing things like that. I want to see a little bit of relative volume, or I want to see, like, again, take a look at Tesla yesterday. Tesla was doing pretty decently in terms of relative volume coming in off of the open 4 times. Remember, we talk about when a Mag 7 stock does over even 1.5, 2 times relative volume, that could be a little bit of something, right? It's not necessarily normal. You got to remember how much these market caps are, how much dollar volume you actually need to move this stuff around. And look, today off of the open, doing about 1.3, 1.2, 1.3, kind of picking right back up. So, oh boy.
Yeah, no, just to your Tesla now. It's finally started. There it goes. Let's go, everybody. Now we're $2 plus. Now we are actually, Joseph, we are now $1, $2, $3 right now on Tesla. Joe, you got out. Joe, I don't know if he has his mic on, but he's trading right now. I'm not sure if he got out of his Tesla or not. Randy, how's it going, my guy back there? All right, I give you the mic, but again, it's only a prop. All right, what do you? Oh, you got a little coffee action. Okay, here. Here's my friend. Get in over here. All right, salute. Randy, everybody. Yes. Don't know who that is? If you don't know, now you know. I'm not watching that P. Diddy documentary anymore.
I've heard good things about it, but I still haven't.
No, so the thing is, it's good, but the thing, it's 50 Cent has a huge agenda in all of this, obviously, and that's fine. I mean, I don't believe that we should be obviously celebrating the life of that individual. I'm not even going to say his name anymore. He's obviously not doing enough time, and there's a whole bunch of things there. I just find that documentary is just so biased. It's really, I only watched the first 2 episodes. It's fine, and it's interesting about the Biggie Smalls stuff and the Tupac stuff, and like now I actually think that Puff Daddy had a hit on Tupac actually, and probably got his own, probably one of the best rappers of all time, Christopher Wallace, murdered as well. So I'm gonna leave my judgment out on all of that, but which I just basically gave it. I don't even want to watch the last 2 episodes. Apparently that's more about like all that victim and stuff, and that will really, like, I'll get really worked up about all of that, because the more that you dig into all of this, and this is why I don't know both sides of it, it's very, very like against Combs, which is fine. It's just I don't really know what to think about moving forward and watching those next couple episodes, because all those stories and all that stuff, like that's just kind of horrible about all that. So I'm kind of staying away from it. But again, the reason why I want to talk about it a little bit, because I think that's a huge value. And I know that Joe and Sharif go back and forth a little bit about this, but I think there's value in Netflix down here at some of these prices, just for the content again. Like they can literally get subscribers based on like one documentary, one series, one fight event. Like that match between Tyson and Paul was just like, they broke the internet literally. I mean, internet stopped working in some spots, and Netflix crashed and all this kind of stuff, and that gave them a lot of viewers. Now I know that there's a lot of talk about how strong YouTube is and all that, and I'm not saying that Netflix is going to be the greatest buy of all time, but I do want to take advantage of dip downs on Netflix, because I do think that content will continue to be king on that. And here's what Netflix daily chart looks like. I have to show it to you on eSignal for the splits. Right there. I'm not even looking at the chat because people are probably very opinionated about what I just said. But yeah, so I just think we started talking about this deal up here. Warner Brothers has been talked about for a very long time. But on earnings, they actually had a good earnings call, which battled them all the way back to 116 before falling back in right now. And I just think that there's a lot of this getting hit here on Warner Brothers talk. And I actually think them acquiring Warner Brothers at the current deal is probably pretty good for them. And again, if we're going to talk about content, then they're getting a lot of space with Warner Brothers, man. They're getting a lot of different programming coming through on there, including some of those HBO series. So I think that does breathe life back into them. You know how many times I've watched Office? Probably 5 times.
Yeah, I mean, definitely worth watching that many times.
Yeah, so it's just like one of those things where I think that if Netflix does get Game of Thrones, it opens up a new avenue for those that maybe didn't have HBO Max or didn't watch it the first round or like it so much and want to watch it again. It's so easy. So I like Netflix coming through there as well. We'll see where that goes from here, but yeah.
I definitely believe you on The Office, because people were telling me for years that you should try,
that's right.
to watch it.
You're not an Office guy.
But guess what?
Okay.
I watched the first couple of episodes. I ended up binging a decent amount.
Okay, guys, because it gets a lot better.
This is pretty good. It's one of the shows I have seen through and through. But yeah, no, it's a great show there. But Netflix, yeah, I do agree that bigger term, long term trend has been holding. It got sold off a little bit on that WBD news, but again, bigger picture, just trend, right? It's doing what it's been doing before, and sometimes price action follows through on volume coming in. So I think that's something to look forward for.
There's a lot of talk here about what's for lunch, and yesterday, I'm almost feeling some kind of ways just thinking about it. Why would you ever put tilapia and teriyaki together?
Yeah, that was a little questionable.
All right, we're going to figure out what's for lunch today. And yeah, it might be a Cabanos day if it's teriyaki tilapia again. If we get back-to-back tilapia days, honestly. Joe's one of the smartest guys in here. He said no tilapia for him. So anytime it's tilapia, like our poor caterers, they make food for 30, 40 people, but because it's tilapia, they got to make something special for my guy over there. Shout out to Joe, of course, getting that protein. You need that as well. So, all right, but for right now, we got Money Talks. It's in the back there with Sia.
Before we're heading to Money Talk, Sean, thank you. We're quickly going to do a sector watch. As you can see, pretty flat, nothing major going on right now. However, in tech, Netflix is doing decently, 0.61%, and Meta is also 0.71% right now. Quick update about Meta. The Messenger app on desktop has shut down for good. That's something I just looked at right now. And there's also a very good article that just came out about why Meta stock is a better investment than Google, which is something I'm really interested in. If I get updates, I will keep you updated. But Meta, as you know, is Alphabet's biggest competitor, and lower valuation comparison to the Alphabet stock, and higher in revenue and operating income. But also for Netflix, I think the Warner Bros. Deal is one of the reasons stock is doing okay to good right now. But that's about it. There's nothing major at the moment. And back to the guys.
So that little bit of a wipe coming back in here on the market. So we attempted to push going into the end of this hour here. Bit of a green to red, red to green. I don't know. We're kind of dancing with that open of the candle here on the 15-minute chart. So more consolidation here on Tesla is what I'm seeing. Again, I'm going to be patient. I'll wait for the next opportunity. AVGO catching a little bit of a bid here as well, maybe consolidating, chop, chop, chop. So yeah, nothing too much on my radar as of right now. Let's see, ARM, I guess ARM was pretty aggressively sold off of the open. Let's take a quick look at that one here as well. When it comes to some of these names. So 118, okay, all right, so that's been a pretty strong sell. We're catching a little bit of a bid here as well. I was watching Intel as well this morning. I think they had a bit of news. I thought it was an interesting piece of news here. We did get a bit of a bid here all the way to 38, 35s in the morning session, but giving it all back and then some in the opening session, coming all the way down to 36.92s here. But it seems like it's been interacting with the VWAP pretty well here. One test, two test, is going back in for the third test right now. That VWAP sitting here at 37.43s. All right, so it seems like coming into the last, I guess, 7 minutes of this 15-minute candle, we are catching a bit of a bid back to the upside here. So where is the reversion? That's what I'm asking of some of this selling. Oh my God. That Amazon, we got to keep an eye out on this Amazon, because that Amazon, take a look at that. That 222, all the way back up to the range highs. So this is what I was saying. This could be range bound today, and range bound it has been with 1, 2, 3 tests of the low of the range, and then 3 tests of the high of the range here. High of the range being 223.65. Sure, it's not that crazy, but it keeps giving it to you over and over again. The question becomes, how many times do you really need to see it to take that opportunity for what it's worth, right? So market catching a bit of a bid. Let's see if we break this range or not. But that 222 has been trying to knock even yesterday after some strong selling, but trying to knock for, I guess, a few months. You know that it's attempted to hold, and it has been holding pretty well as of right now. So that's all I really got on watch. What are you guys talking about here? Circle, okay, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Let's take a quick look at Circle. All right, so distinctly different as it's showing some strength, holding VWAP multiple times, 81s holding, pushing back towards high a day here, 83.35s on Circle. All right, so prior day, it's pretty much wiping back prior day. So this is where sellers were pretty aggressive here, underneath 84s yesterday, and that was a bit of a multi-day push, because you can see here last Friday, also some strong selling with a high of 91s, closing in and around mid-80s, 83s here, and continuation on Monday, but a bit of a reversion happening here on the daily chart, pulling right back up. So that makes me question, what is Bitcoin doing as of right now on Coinbase. So yeah, there you go, right here. A bit of a bid coming right back in. It's a 3-minute chart on Bitcoin. I do not want to look at that. Again, something that trades 24/7. I do want to maybe stick to higher time frames, and you can see nice structure push happening here on a 15-minute, maybe even an hourly. Taking a look at that pullback in 87, 88s coming in on BTC. So yeah, that might be running some of the bid on these crypto-related stocks. What's up, Sia?
Thank you. So there's a boost seen in the Japanese yen, while US dollar is at a 2-month low amid the subdued forex action. Yen right now is at 154.61, showing a 0.31% strength amidst the BOJ hike rate bets. Precious metals as well, like gold, have dropped below 4,300, and commodities, including WTI, crude, are approaching 7-month lows. Pound is also strengthening on the UK data, has risen against major currencies after UK PMI data hit 52.1, beating the forecasted numbers, and now is showing an accelerated private sector growth. Moving on to Indian rupee. Indian rupee has hit an all-time low and has fallen past 91 versus the USD for the 4th session, down 6% YTD due to US tariffs. And 18 billion foreign outflows, NDF maturities despite certain RBI interventions. And that's all for now. Thank you.
Interesting. Yeah, good luck. Thanks for that. And I didn't realize that about the rupee there, as India has been a pretty hot economy. And we talked about the stock market, yeah, with Rahim Alani a couple times there, talking all about the Indian market. So thanks, Sia. And again, man, put some ones up in the chat. Great job for Sia there today. So we'll see. Yeah, everybody loving it. Great job there, Sia. And I know she was a little under the weather, so we appreciate her coming in there today. But let's see if we can reward all of this with a good lunch.
Ooh, what's for lunch? Oh, that's a nice background there.
Yeah, so now they're going with the flags.
Okay.
Yeah. So now you got the flag. So now on our menu, we got a flag. Here, I'll show you guys quickly. I don't want you guys to see what's going on here too much. Flags. Okay, gone. Okay, so that's what we're talking about right now. But today's flag, would you like to tell everybody, Obi?
Okay, all right. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, cottage. Oh, sorry, British.
Yeah, the flag, not the food. Okay, so we do. All right, you know what? From now on, let's reset. This is my segment. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. We got a little carried away right there.
Run it back.
Right, let's run this back. All right, today's What's for Lunch. We're very excited about it because yesterday was quite the disappointment with teriyaki tilapia. Today, though, with the flag, British flag here, we have what is well known around these joints as cottage pie, which I think we talked about this before. It was actually pretty good last time. It was, the discussion was it's supposed to be lamb meat or just beef. Yeah. So I'm going to find out. Maybe we should email and find out what exactly is in it there. But cottage pie today with seasoned roast veggies and mixed green salad. I think that's a winner, and that is what's for lunch.
No cabanos today.
Well, I'm going to go, yeah. And then tomorrow actually looks pretty good, too. We'll leave that. Now, see, now you've got me looking forward there, Obi. But, yeah, we'll get. I think what we should do is, are you around on Christmas Eve?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because that's going to be a half day. So, there's going to be a couple half days coming up or days.
Make sure they're open, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's what happened last year.
I was going to say, because sometimes some days the caterers don't show up. So, yeah, cottage is beef there, Rusty Dutch says, and shepherd's pie is lamb. So we got cottage today. So we'll find out what exactly that is. We have $3 in the money on Tesla. We have 50 cents in the money on the TQs. I only took 2 trades today. This is it right there, off of the 200 period moving average. We get Tesla, huge trade. And then we also have the TQs with a huge short. So those are the 2 trades for me today, and we'll finish at the high spot. I mean, we lost a little bit unrealized because of all this, but actually the amount of money that we're holding right now is actually exactly equal. The Tesla realized profit is the same as the realized profit right now on the TQ is what we have left. So far, so good here. We're excited. We've got Joe coming out. We've got Sharif. Obi, thanks for joining. Promise me you'll be back at 2 o'clock?
I'll be here.
All right, Obi and I at 2 o'clock. A big shout out to Sia. Thank you so much for all those updates. We got Fabian over there. We've got Andre. We've got Ramin. Thanks so much to Brendo as well. Thanks to Sharif and Joe for everything they've added, obviously. But you don't have to thank them through me. They're going to be on right now. So let's go over to the midday show. Thanks for everybody for watching. Adara's back tomorrow. Neil's back tomorrow. We're back at 2 p.m. Ciao for now.
Bello.